Wow.
Wait.
What?
Wow. I was muted for a sec. So
Ah!
you got to say wow first. But people saw me say mouth wow. Look, I just I just
You're
had to
doing great.
install
You're doing
OBS on my
good.
new computer. I realized I never did that, so but we're
Thank
here.
you, Nathan.
Hopefully everything's working. Everyone can hear and see and like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. We're doing a critique of
Yeah.
your art here on the stream.
Yeah. Many of you submitted art, and I will be talking about it with you and Nathan
And me.
and me.
And us.
And me. Um,
Yeah, just let me know if
yeah.
like I gotta adjust anything. This is my first time streaming from
Yeah.
OBS from this particular computer with this particular setup, so tried to get everything sounding good. Um so
Yippee.
yeah, I can do my best to make adjustments, but hopefully everything's fine and good, and we're just gonna have a nice chill time looking at some good art and telling you how you can make it even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? Yeah, just make it better.
And
Uh,
yeah, if you have any
I was
questions while we're critiquing, feel free to leave it in the chat. I am looking at the chat right now.
Yay. Thank you,
Welcome
Nathan.
patrons. Thank you for supporting us
Yeah.
on Patreon at this
Yeah.
tier.
It's as it says on the art that is currently killing me slowly. Thank you for your support.
We are all feeling very thankful for your support right now.
Yeah.
And if you're
As
watching the VOD later, you can tune in live to these if you support us at the learner tier
yeah.
on Patreon. So think about doing that. You get some other real fun rewards as well, like all of our Photoshop documents and clip
Ooh.
studio files with layers from the drawings we've done.
Ooh.
So
Horrifying. You can
yeah,
see the filthy underbelly of our work.
yeah, you really can peer
But yeah.
behind the curtain.
Every month it's a different draw class,
Yeah,
and we usually announce it kind of at some point earlier in the month. So
yeah. Give you time
just
to
make a decision for the month, and then
exactly.
undecide. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. As we like trickle people in
Hmm.
once now that it's announced, I just need to talk briefly about this Ace Attorney
Yeah,
art
please.
because I am not normal about it. Because for full context,
Yeah, zoom
there
in
was
on
a
that.
popularity poll um of like every character from like 4, 5, and 6, the Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6. So the top three they were like, we'll draw new art of them. And the three winners were, of course, Edgeworth, Apollo, and Phoenix, but specifically Phoenix from the Apollo Justice game where he's unemployed.
Yeah,
And so this is the best for me
yeah.
because that is my favorite era of Phoenix. When I chose the pen name Dilphosaur, he's the Dilf I was referring
Oh
to. So
wow.
to see new art of like flop era Phoenix,
Yeah.
it's especially with like my baby boy Apollo and Edgeworth Sans overcoat. Ooh, it's art that kills Karina.
And so yeah, so as Negapol pointed out, it looks like Apollo's gonna chug the entire champagne because both Phoenix and
They have drinks.
Edgeworth already have drinks, and it doesn't look like they also have empty champagne bottles. So that's really fun for
Yeah,
Apollo.
he would. He would.
he's
He would though.
he's
He
getting
needs it.
excited. Yeah. That's great. Good for
But yeah,
them.
so big day for me. It's also my best friend's birthday, but like honestly,
Wow.
this is a much bigger thing for
Yeah.
me.
Congrat.
um
Congrat to your friend. It says congrat in the background.
yeah, congrat Lauren.
Congrat, Lauren.
Anyway, check this shit
And
out.
congrat to all of you watching live.
Yippee!
You're doing good stuff for us. We appreciate you, and we're gonna make it worth your while.
Yeah. So I guess now that folks are in more or less, it's been announced, we should get started so we
Okay.
don't run way over as we usually do with these.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's a much smaller critique group this time.
That's
And would you
nice.
believe that our first submitter was, as always, Zandrew
I
Birch?
would believe that. Yes.
Yeah, who we
That's a
met at
yeah.
Mocha Fest.
That was fun.
I physically own your art now. It's on my wall.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
should have brought it over here for the sake of just having it to have a better idea of your technique when critiquing, but whatever. It's on my wall.
It's on the wall. Your art is up
Yeah.
on the wall, and it's also right here.
Yeah. Yeah. The one you gave me isn't any of these, so these are all new to me. So Sanjubert says, I've been working on adding depth to my backgrounds. I'm struggling with my values, especially in the Zubat piece. Um okay, voiced of all as usual. I think these are all beautiful.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Um and knowing that you do like traditional medium, it does it is harder to just kind of like go in and adjust these things. Um because especially having seen your work in person now, I know how packed in the ink is with all of these.
Mm.
So, because it does, like, the nice thing about working with like alcohol-based markers is that you can like layer and blend without it like destroying the paper, but it can
Mm-hmm.
still only like take so much. So, after a point, you do just kind of like stop stop adding on top of it because it's just not gonna like start layering quite the same. So the fact that you do this like all traditionally is like really cool, and it does require an amount of foresight. um but yeah, and I really like this one. Help if I actually like did anything properly. This
That would
this
help.
piece in particular,
Oh yeah.
uh the lanterns are lovely. Because yeah, especially when you're working with like marker and watercolor and stuff, since those are mediums that take so much layering, you can't like pull it back. um
Right.
so if you want something to start light, you just keep it light, and this one as well, as the water effect is so beautiful.
Yeah. The reflection.
So it is kind of difficult to like kind of go in and fix values because you can really only like darken without just completely painting over, which
Right.
I feel like the way you render doesn't really lend well to that. So that's a really tough thing to do, but I think, yeah, like these two especially are so successful
You can do like
um with the backgrounds.
digital touch-ups though. You could
Yeah.
like work primarily in physical media, and then
Yeah.
scan them in and do some final
So
messing about.
messing about.
You can do a little mess abouts.
So with this one, um, yeah, uh, the values of the background are basically just on the same level with the Zubat, which is probably um why you're feeling that struggle. But again, it's hard to push and pull with traditional medium without doing digital touch up. So, yeah, I guess at this point with that one, if you're still working traditionally, all you can do is kind of darken the area behind the Zubat, just so that it's not blah 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 blah. Where's all my shit? Fading into the background as much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because like the colors of the background are super nice, but Um, it's just kind of like without the value separation, then there's no strong focal point to the image. Like, the Zubat works as a focal point because it has like a different texture and it's like a different blue. Like it's kind of a bit more of like an unnatural blue, so it does kind of pop from the background. But even just having like a little bit more of like a separation with it, I think. And I just picked a random color to do this in. This isn't really indicative of like what colors I think you should be doing, but just for the sake of like value work.
Oh, a little blendy.
Yeah, just to kind of show what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, because it is. I do really like all these like beautiful colors you always use in your like background work, but it's always a shame to like cover them up, but for the sake of creating more of a focal point.
Some contrast.
Yeah, just to separate it from the background a little bit
Yeah.
and like add some of that depth.
Ooh.
Because I really like the background, but it does, when everything's at the same like level of value as well as like the saturation of the colors and all of that, it will start to like, it looks beautiful, but it will make it kind of like more confusing of what ish the focal point, I suppose. Whereas if yeah, so I say just like kind of darken the area around the Zubat, and then that way you don't have to completely lose all the beautiful like color work that is going on. And it can even be like a little bit more subtle if you want, kind of like this. Um, but yeah, then it just helps.
Makes you pop a little.
Makes you pop a little.
Should I zoom the screen in so it's more of the drawing screen
I
is on screen? Let me try. Just do a
Up to
little
you.
adjust. I forget. I completely like it's been so long since I've hosted one of these. So I just
Yeah,
have to
thank you again for doing that
yeah, we're
because I
just
also don't know how to do it.
gonna make it a little bigger and then move us over. Boop. There we go.
Yeah,
Just so it's a little easier to see.
and because this one kind of has a similar problem, the Snooty. That's her name, right? She strikes me as a Snooty.
She strikes me as
Yeah, it's in the file
Snooty.
names. Snooty, um, where she's also kind of at the same level as the background,
Mm-hmm.
but another thing, and it's always just I've always had this issue in working traditionally where it's like so scary to like keep pushing things further because you can't come back from it.
Right.
But that's why we do it digitally for practice.
That's why we
um
do it
yeah,
digitally.
because I'm like, I really like this kind of open market sort of background. So it makes you wonder if maybe she can be the one that's like in the shadow, if that
Oh.
would like look better or worse. I don't know. This is the joy of being able to do things digitally.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you want to finish it off,
Yeah.
like actually make the piece completely traditional, you can still like scan it at any point and then
Yeah.
just like do some experiments digitally just to be like, okay, should I darken that? Will I like how it looks?
Yeah.
You know?
Because then it again does the same thing where it kind of separates her from this like uh bright open market setting. It does in this case it does kind of lose her in the front, but hey, that's why we try things and then not undo them.
Yeah.
But uh one thing that I think you can do is, especially if you continue working like um largely traditionally, is just do like more pre-planning, like thumbnailing and like doing value studies ahead of time,
Oh
where
yeah.
you can uh this piece is pretty perfect. The only critique I have about these two pieces, because I think the backgrounds are like done super well,
Yeah, they're really
but
beautiful.
yeah, is just that maybe there could be a little bit more lighting on the subjects to draw like to draw the eye to them using the contrast. So like so.
Oh yeah, a little bit of rim lighting there.
Yeah, and then the same with the side ducks, because the side ducks get a little bit lost uh in the river.
Don't lose your Psyducks in the river.
Yeah, help them. Be nice to them. But yeah, so for example, you could be plotting how you want to do this Subat piece and doing a real like bootleg version of your
Yeah,
really good drawing.
that's what thumbnailing is. It's
Yeah.
pre bootleg. Do a
And then you
little.
have these cool shapes, etc. So then you can do like even just like a 3-layer value study where it's like, okay, this is going to be the brightest part, and then behind it will be like something way, that can be like I said 3-layer and I'm immediately going to make it like not that. But yeah. So that's your very like rudimentary value study, and then you can go in and be like,
Those are
okay,
3. I see 3.
well, now it's 4.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, just so we're like super clear.
right.
Then it can also be a little bit of like, here's where the lighting is, and then there's also a little bit of lighting over here, so that when you're kind of going in and doing the final, you have an idea of like what you're going for,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And this one especially, I think, would like really uh I'm so sorry, Snooty. Bootlegging the fuck out of her.
Aw. Cute. She looks way more tired in yours.
Thank you.
She's been at the market too long. She's like, I don't know. I don't know what to
But
get.
yeah, where it's like, because this one especially has so many layers to the background. So when you're working on it, you can kind of start with this, and then you're like, oh, maybe she's like in shadow because she's closer. And the light would be coming from behind her in this case, I suppose. So all of these things are like, but then over here is where the light source is. So maybe there's like a little bit more of that coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I should push it more on her so that she's like more separate from the background, etc. So, and this is all, I don't know how much of this you already do, maybe, but just a thought.
I think
But
it's a
yeah,
good thought.
these are also lovely. I always love that you're here and that you share your art. So thank
Yeah. Appreciate
you.
you.
No, yeah, I hope that's a good starting point. If you have any more questions, please let me know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, these are lovely.
Yeah, I only bring up the fact that I'm like, now I have your art in real life. Because I can tell how, like, packed in it is, you know? Because it's been a while since I've done marker work, but I have been kind of futzing around with it a little bit in that I've just been doing a lot of journaling, so I kind of just like um and I have a bunch of like cheap alcohol markers now, like not the fancy expensive Copics, but just other ones
Mm-hmm.
that are much less expensive. So sometimes I'll just like, you know, when I'm dating my pages, I'll do like funny little bubble letters and shit. And when you really like, you know, like when the paper is really saturated, yeah, they kind of stop acting the way you like. And I'm like, ah, fuck, that's right. I forgot. So
You went
it's
too
really
far.
cool. Yeah, it's really cool to see how good your stuff is.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay. Yay, I'm glad, Zandrew.
Yay.
Just because these things tend to run forever, I am just feeling like let's move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just like if we can keep it under 3 hours, that'd be pretty
That'd be
solid.
sick. Yeah.
So next is Jack, and Jack included 5 pages of their comic, and
Ooh.
yeah, so I have the other two in there as well. So Jack says, "Hi, I signed up for the higher tier just now for critique. Yippee! This is my first time. Welcome.
Welcome.
I recently started working on a comic, but I'm not very good at it yet, so I wanted to get some critique on my chapter 0, all 5 pages. Don't worry. First, I wanted to know if it's eye-catching and exciting enough to get someone to keep reading, and if not, is there getting a million goddamn Discord messages? Shut up.
You gotta put it on
Um,
streamer mode. You're streaming.
I'm um
You're
to keep
streaming.
someone reading, and if not, is there anything specifically I could change to make it so? Secondly, oh my god, they're talking so much.
Shush them. Shush
How do
them,
I put it on
Karina.
streamer mode? Whatever. Jesus.
What's going on?
A
It's
whole
okay.
ass conversation while I'm in stream.
Wow.
Um
Wow, wow, wow.
Secondly, I really struggled with rendering everything and deciding how to render. When it comes to backgrounds, I don't even know how much shading and texturing is the right amount to have it not look flat but still get it cohesive with the lightly rendered characters. I feel I overdid it in some places and it still looks flat. I need to practice drawing backgrounds and scenery in general, but getting the render to look nice within the comic is proving to be kind of a unique struggle. As an extra note, I know the anatomy on page 2 is whack. I know how to draw people while I was just tired when I did it, and I haven't fixed it yet. So valid. Um, uh, and the rest is just about how they sent it. So, yeah, bye. Uh, but yeah, so we have the first 3 pages here, and then I have the other 2 pages there. So yeah. I have been a little busy with the anniversary poster stuff, so I did not look too deeply into everyone's submissions before. And we don't have as many this time, so we can take it a little slower. So sorry if I'm just like stopping to read, but these are really nice.
Yeah.
And you know, I know you said you're going to be fixing the page 2, but I think it's a really solid pose already. Um but yeah. No, I think, well, I will start by saying that figuring out the overall look of your comic, which, you know, the rendering style and all of that is like an important step to do
Hmm.
pretty early on, I
Yeah.
think. But I do think it's very solid so far. Um, let me think about how word things. Um, because I do really love the very hatchy way that you've chosen to do things.
Hmm.
And uh like I feel like this works super well. And you're doing it in grayscale, which does make it very easy to kind of like do all the value work that I love to harp on because it's half my personality as a professional. Um, because I think these are very nice. I really like this background specifically. I think this is like a good way to approach it,
Yeah.
where it because the thing with comics is that you don't always need to have backgrounds. It feels like you should, but there are times when you can skimp out on them.
Hmm.
And I think this is a good way of doing it, and I think that looks really nice.
Yeah.
Um, I do feel like this panel is a little bit confusing because it took me a second to really like look at it and take it in because this is light
Yeah.
and I feel like with the overall how say because you know if they're opening the door and
It's lighter on the inside. There's light
yes
pouring out from in there.
um yeah, sorry, I was deafening my entire Discord application,
Yeah.
and there should just be like more shadow going in.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all it is about this pattern. Because I feel like with with this one, like, because clearly your style has a lot of like hatching going on. Um, with this one, the hat you were using kind of the hatching to indicate the lighting more so than the actual like this grainy paint that you're doing. So I feel like in that case it wasn't as successful in showing the lighting
Hmm.
than it is in, say, right here and like here. I'm just drawing arrows with the world's biggest brush as if that's effective in
Yeah.
demonstrating anything.
Yeah.
But
Here.
yeah. Yeah, just here. um but yeah, cuz cuz with like the door, you're going from base white and the light is also white, and you're trying to show the dramatic shading with the hatching, but everything is using hatching to either show texture or shading. It In this case, like with this panel, I think was the weakest panel of the three that are on screen right now because of that. So that's just part of figuring out that rendering style where it's just like, is the hatching shadow? Is it texture?
Hmm.
Is it both? How much? Because a lot of what is being shown is not in this like dramatic lighting where it's like a dark setting with like suddenly all this lights coming through. It it's all been very bright, so the hatching more reads as texture rather than shading. So I
There.
think you need
Yeah.
to just kind of like figure out how to refine that the way to show the things that you want.
They're in chat, and they do say they're 99% sure they're switching to screen tones for the.
Nice. Oh,
So
that's gonna look cool.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think the hatching is wonderful, but it one is a lot to do. It's just thinking as the point of view as I gotta draw that, but
Right.
to if you're using it for both texture and shading, it you got to really dedicate to that, which is even more to do.
Yeah, you have to
If that
be able
makes
to
sense.
differentiate between
Yeah.
texture hatching and shading hatching.
Yeah, because then these are the other two pages, and I was really delighted by this mob shot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
I
lovely.
like that a lot.
Yeah, I also never know how to approach a crowd shot. I don't even currently work on a comic, and I am always downloading free mob brushes from like Clip Studio because I'm like, just in case I gotta draw some freaking mob characters.
Yeah.
But I think as long as you kind of establish the level of detail that any given background is going to have and keep it consistent throughout, no one's gonna like it's not gonna disrupt anyone's immersion. So like if this is just how you draw crowds, then good, you've set the standard for yourself. You can just do that forever now.
Yeah.
But I do think that like overall the paneling and posing is really cool so far. I think the main thing you need to do is just really like refine what your rendering style is, because it does look really good.
Yeah.
But I think it's really nice. But
Even in that like simplified style, you have such a nice like mixture of like sizes, and I love the one in the bottom right corner who's like facing away but looking back.
this
Like
one.
you're able to indicate that with that simple, just like the way you put the face on it. Like I don't know. I think that's really charming.
Yeah. And I do love this this sort of ink wash looking texture that has
Yeah.
been integrated into the coloring and stuff. I think that's really lovely. In terms of just like how like how to say cutting the difference of like how much should go into the foreground versus the background. Like I would say this like panel, you probably don't need to go into such fine detail with like the grain on the door
Mm-hmm.
and even the hatching on the stairs, because it does look nice, but it's not necessary if especially if that's something that can save you time, because
Right.
comics is a really like unforgiving medium sometimes, where it's just if you enjoy doing like the fine detailing of like the grain and stuff, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's also, you don't need to do it if you don't have to, or you can find a more like streamlined way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in this panel with the detailing of the slats on the table, I I don't think it's necessary unless you want it to be.
Yeah.
Especially not so uniformly. Like it could even just be like,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah. Just like the
cuz but this is also just like me talking from my point of view, because I'm like, for me, doing all those lines and making sure they're perpendicular and like properly placed is a lot of labor. Like um that's very mentally tiring for me, and I would
right.
get pretty tired of doing it after a few pages, even if it looks nice, and even if I'm like like the more you get into it, the more you're just like, ah, geez, I already started doing that and now I
Right.
have to keep doing
Yeah.
it.
You've set the standard.
Yeah, because
Um.
again, it's the same with with this panel, where I'm just like, this is like, just objectively speaking, very stylized.
Yeah.
It's very simplified, but
It
if that's how you do
conveys.
crowds, yeah, then I accept it as the reader. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a crowd. Where, with a door, if you are doing every door with and or like any wooden surface with like this really like very well done, very realistic wood grain,
Right. It looks
then
nice.
I'm gonna keep like expecting it, I
Yeah.
guess. But if you just don't do it, I'm not gonna be like, where's the wood grain on the door? How am I to know? Like, I know it's a door.
Yeah, it's like with every panel, like because you're storytelling, it's like your primary focus should be like what's the information I'm trying to convey in this
Yeah.
panel. And so like that crowd scene's great because it's like the information is there's this one person speaking up on a balcony and they've got everyone else's attention. And like in these two panels, you've conveyed that. And then like in this next panel down here, you know, you've added these action lines, which are, those are really good. They're like guiding the reader towards, it's like, that's the person speaking. That's the energy. Everyone in the room is like looking up at them speaking. And so, yeah, like that wood paneling on the door looks really nice, but is it serving the purpose of that panel in the story is like always worth asking yourself when you're adding a detail and defining something.
Yeah. I keep coming back to this panel because it's just like so cute to me.
Yeah.
But it works really
well, yeah.
Because like I don't need to know every single person in that crowd.
No.
Like this is a great establishing shot, so I'm glad I'm seeing all the characters in this crowd, but for this panel, like this is like I don't need to know who all, like every single person who's looking up. I just know that it's a crowd looking up, and that's what comics do.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, oh, that's all I need to know, so that's all that's going to be shown.
Yeah.
Because the other thing with the wood grain that I was kind of futzing with is that since it's like this detailed and stuff, it does kind of like land on the same level as these detailed characters in the foreground. You know what I mean?
And maybe that door is like, we don't know what happens in panel 6. If like something's about to come through that door that's like super important, then like maybe it does make more sense to have that door be detailed. But like as a reader seeing that panel the way it is, I'm thinking like, ooh, what's behind that door, you know?
Yeah.
So if you're not planning on having something come through that door, you probably don't need to make it such a focal thing.
I think you are super on the right track. Like this stuff's great. Thank you for sharing it.
I'm interested to find out about the gate guard exam. Yeah, like to answer your question about like, does this make the reader want to keep reading? Like, yeah, I like this world. I like this. Like, I already have like a sense of this character's personality, and I want to know more about like what's the gate guard exam like. So good job setting a scene, beginning a story.
Yeah, just continue to like really finalize the overall like design of it, like what your rendering style is going to be, and like really like fit that. And otherwise, like you're on a roll. You got this.
Yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
I hope that helped. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
They said that door is my main character, actually. Then you've nailed it.
You nailed it.
Perfect.
Just make sure it's on model. That wood grain is on model in every panel.
Yeah.
that it's in.
It better not change. Or else I'm going to think that's part of the plot. If the knots move, they need to be perfectly measured.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Okay, next is CJ Schneider. Whoopee!
Ooh.
Yeah, we got some frog. Been working on lighting since last critique, and previously asked about saturation when I meant temperature. Do you have any tips on adjusting temperature of colors to better fit a scene? I feel like the lighting in mine aren't very dynamic, with the use of cool and warm colors in combination, even though I'm just illiterate. Even though I try to adjust both lightness and the hue when making the shadows and highlights. The third image, which I've put up here separately, is from another artist as an example of what I meant. Let me take a moment for my dog brain to process that series of words, because I kind of get what you're saying and I get what you mean with the example image. So let me think about how to explain. But these are so cool.
Yeah.
I love
this frog.
The frog. Because when it comes to like the temperature of the lighting, which is saturation, hue, light. Those are the color brother. We are the color brothers.
Hello, I am Hugh.
Those.
This is my brother Saturation. Hi.
It's the three kittens on the floor.
Yeah.
We are the color brothers. Um, but like all those things kind of work in conjunction to just uh do your intent. So I kind of understand what you're going for, but to just as a little explainer of the example image that you've provided, because this is a really lovely use of colors and temperature and stuff.
Yeah.
So just to kind of explain really simply, what you're seeing is basically the temperature is warm and cold. It just goes across.
Yeah.
So it's, like this is a really snowy picture. So it largely is cold. So it uses a lot of cool colors. It has um, this like blue background. I don't know what that's supposed to indicate. Thanks, Karina. So,
That's the blue
and
background.
these, yeah, and like, because it's snow, and when shading snow especially, but like white in general, you're gonna want to use blue shadows because it does um make it look brighter. And so this overall has a very cool feeling because it is, literally a cold picture. It's in the snow, but the lighting, which is coming in from this direction, is warm. So I want to say it's kind of like a golden to orange color of light, and it is hitting. It's kind of like sunlight. So it and warm colors, cold colors, they have natural contrast, so it does create that like really interesting depth between. And honestly, all the real trick to this is that these shadings and everything, that is just a blue multiply layer. A lot of the shading is blue, and then there is a big kind of orangey overlay gone in with the airbrush to add that orange light. So it makes a nice contrast of just like popping the greens to make them more yellow, and the horse to make it more yellow and orange,
And it's
while
like
everything in shadow is literally cold and blue.
and like the warm is like it's over the line layer as well, it looks like the lines that are in light seem to be, maybe I'm wrong, but like
Yeah, just like not to
slightly
make this too much about the like image that you sent as
but like
a
if you
what's it
color
good?
pick the line layer that's in light versus in shadow, I'm curious if they're different.
Because it's what is this, like bussy?
But yeah, it's good to include an example of the effect you're trying
Yeah,
to
it
achieve.
really it really helps understand what you're good, Karina. Really great stuff. Understand what you're getting at, but can I please?
You're doing it.
Can I please? Let's just say, actually no. Let's do this. Actually, let's do a little bit more neutral. And just like not to absolutely pick on this artist. He is all it is, kiddos. He is all it is. Multiply layer. Did I do that correctly? Um, so I'm just gonna do this actually. Beep. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, so the shading is really just like this kind of blue, you know, meh. And then over the entire thing, we are going to do an airbrush of an overlay. That's way too big, still too big. Where am I? Anything? This is all it is. You know, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like looking at you for approval.
Like at me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cuz this is just that color as an overlay layer
Right.
masked to the entire thing minus the background.
Yeah, and I
And
don't know if they
then
use the exact same multiply color for all the shading. It looks like maybe the
yeah,
one on the
it looks
horse
like
is
maybe
more of
there
a purple.
was 'cause you can also just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like use cool colors for shading and use a warmer color
Yeah.
in an
Because for that, like, for the sake
overlay.
of wording it the way that you did the dynamic lighting, like dynamic use of colors for your lighting, all you got to do is shadow is cool, light is warm. Make it look spicy,
Yeah.
yummy.
Yeah,
So
could
that's
we
your.
even do that on the pieces they submitted and see if it
My goodness, we probably could. Let me just organize my goddamn fuck ass layers. Where am I? Get, get, get. Okay. So yeah, that was just breaking down the example image. So for Frogus Specialist, cause also just side note because I'm so goddamn irritating. Value check. Oh my god. I forgot that nothing is a through layer. The frog especially, there aren't a lot of like strong I wonder if this is a good place.
it's a good place.
Yeah, because I'm just like I was kind of interested in checking the thing, but you know, this one's pretty straightforward of just like the landscape elements are really bright because it's snow. But yeah, there aren't a lot of like light. There isn't a lot of actual light in this one, so it does make it a little bit unclear like what the light source is sort of, because like, you know, clearly like it's probably coming from the orbis
Yeah,
borbis, but
you could lighten up that orb.
yeah, but you know, in terms of the light that's hitting the frog and all of that, it's not that drastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as a whole, it kind of makes the whole image like not as drastic as maybe uh you want it to be. So what's a good way to do this? So it's I'm gonna run with the theory that the light is largely going to be coming from this orb, so we can add some kind of like cool shadows. This is mostly gray. What if I just do blue?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I In terms of like color theory, I one of the first draw classes I ever did was on color theory. And I think that one I did a pretty good job on. So go on, check it out sometime. Make
Yeah,
my day. I mean, yeah,
I was
talking
there for
about
that
kind of
one.
like, yeah, you were, weren't you? But
I
yeah, to talk
agree.
about kind of like the difference between uh or like, good ways to implement using warms and cools and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's say that, and then we'll just do the same freaking thing this artist did, because, why not? Where,
Look at that.
yeah,
There you go.
let's make it a little,
You can do that.
yeah. And let me just tidy this up for my own sanity. Sorry. And even though we're not adding like that much different stuff, it also does create like a more interesting lighting effect.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just like I feel like if you're going for something very similar to the sample image, that's how you do it. Although
Earlier.
Elder, I'm just gonna undo. I'm just gonna delete everything I just did
Delete
actually,
your art.
because I get the impression that this Orbis is kind of more of a blue.
Yeah. And you can have a cool light
Yeah,
source
so I'm
too,
just like, I
and
wonder.
that creates a different vibe.
Yeah, I wonder how the vibe changes.
And in that case, you can even make the shadows more warm in comparison.
Yeah, let's try that out actually.
Do like a dark red
I'm gonna go with more of a brown.
or a brown. Brown's kind of like a dark red.
Brown, yeah, that dark red can be a
A
brown.
dark orange. A orange.
Orange. You're a orange. Yeah. It can be a little bit harder because cool naturally recedes. Um, and this isn't a very good example of what we're going for here, but you get the idea. When in doubt, just make your light really,
Yeah. You can also just have both the light
really warm.
and dark
Yeah.
be cool. You know, that it
You could
all but
just fuck around and find
yeah,
out,
yeah,
honestly.
but you don't
Because here's the other thing with fire. Again, if you're shading white, light or like kind of a cyan will make it look really fucking bright.
mhm.
So you can also just like add a tiny bit of that to, because with fire the hottest part is blue.
Right.
So you can fuck around, but that's a little bit for you to find out. I should
Yeah.
probably move on.
We can move on.
Um I want to fucks with this one too.
Fucks with this one too. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Because I'm already doing it. Stop yelling at me.
These are
No, yeah.
encouraging yells.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So what if we go with kind of like we just hit colors, and then that's a good way to do this. So I'm like, what if we make this whole thing kind of bluer?
Yeah.
Kind of do something to kind of like make this whole image kind of cool.
Blue yourself.
And blow yourself. Wait. And then uh again, because we're lazy and a little bit on a time limit, we're just going to make this a warm light source just to get the point across.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can even add a little bit of this.
Yeah, what I like to do at my sort of cheat with like specifically this like color temperature type thing is like I'll go
Yeah.
in, I'll flat my image, I'll do like an initial shading pass, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
just like desaturate my initial flats and then go in with like a full like whatever temperature, like a blue or a purple multiply layer over top, and
Yeah.
then just erase out, and then add whatever sort of
Yeah.
light light warm color I want to have in there, or if it's a cool light source, something like that. But yeah, just
Yeah.
like basically your initial color choices, you don't need to be like stuck to them. You
Yeah.
can make tons of adjustments and just like desaturate them, and add
Yeah.
all sorts of
That's
adjustments,
the
and see what you vibe with.
such is the freedom of
Mm-hmm.
working digitally. Because yeah, whenever I like shade stuff, I'll go in and do the flat colors, which are just like, theoretically the colors they would be just in no particular lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can work on top of it to like add, the multiply layer for shadows, like overlays and addition, like add glow layers for like, really bright lighting, etc.
Yeah.
So, uh, and again, such is the joy of working digitally and being able to fuck around.
Yeah.
But it's also a good tool, if you have the means to do so and you work traditionally, is that you can kind of figure out like a nice color doodad, like, like what kind of colors would look good right now, for hello. Okay, cool, my drag's just not working, I like that. For that, and then you can apply that same knowledge to kind of just skip the steps of the layering when you're just working traditionally, because with
Mm-hmm.
Fraugus, it's not really green. I just realized you probably can't see the pop-ups with how this is set up, but if you look over to where the color bar is, the bright part of the frog is yellow. A lot of this frog is yellow, honestly.
Yeah.
And stuff. So when you're working traditionally, you'll know not to start with a green, but more with a yellow to get that same effect.
Right.
But yeah, I do hope that this was a little bit useful to hear.
I bet it was.
I bet it was, but
It's always useful to me.
yeah,
Anyway,
did a whole
if
fucking.
anything, even if it's useful to no one else, it'll be useful to me. I always appreciate it. So.
But yeah, these are really cool drawings. Just start experimenting with like coloring stuff. When in doubt, just shadows are cool, lighting is hot. Just choose one warm color. Honestly, just go for complementaries. Like if you're doing kind of a blue overall shading, just choose like a lighting color that's in the orange range,
Yeah.
and bam, mwah,
Yeah.
tasty contrast.
It's a
Easy. And
great
then you
place
can
to start
just,
from, and then
yeah, and then you can just start experimenting from there.
yeah, and you can subvert those expectations. But
Yeah.
yeah, that makes
Next.
next.
Jasper
Next.
rocks. Um,
Jasper does rock.
his pronouns are she, they, asshole. Oh my god, me too. Hey, Drawfee. I read that wrong. Hi, Drawfee has become one of my favorite channels on YouTube, and you have really inspired me to get back into drawing. Yay! And even gather myself to finally use Clip Studio that I had on my tablet but never used. But everyone's positively got me excited for drawing and learning new things. Oh, I've been drawing lots of fan art mostly, and I hope to branch out eventually, but would really appreciate any advice on coloring, shading, lighting. Um, I struggle a lot with. I have watched a few of your drawing classes with gestures and poses, and they are so fun. Appreciate you and all you do for the community to build Drawfee. You build Drawfee is awesome. Thank you for what you do. Sorry, I can't fucking read.
Do you want me to read them? I can read
No.
them. Okay.
Yeah. Nathan's like, you're doing awful.
It's a really nice message.
Yeah. I read everything wrong. This is cranberry juice.
Karina's drunk on cranberry juice.
Oh my god, I'm just like Phoenix Wright. Anyway, these are delightful.
Yeah.
Okay, what is appreciate any advice about coloring, shading, and lighting? Oh boy, time for the Karina classic. Let's get that fucking black
Values.
color layer.
Let's see those
Boom.
Values.
My goodness, you could be pushing them. that sounded sarcastic, but no, it's always that's always my go-to thing of just like, are you being brave? Because, for example, and I'm sorry, I don't know who a lot of these characters are. What did the file name say? Caleb. I assume Caleb is a fire user. And you know what fire is?
Warm.
Right.
It's warm.
So, in terms of lighting, I would say that you could go in and
Brighten it up.
yeah, just because fire is bright. It's like scary bright.
Have you ever just looked at fire? It hurts your
Yeah.
eyes.
It lights up a room. So
Yeah.
and it's a light source, so it would also be creating more of a like a lighting effect on Mr. Caleb.
Yeah.
Government name Caleb himself. I have no idea who this character is. I'm sorry. But
It's just Caleb.
yeah. My go-to like life hack easy 5-minute crafts, like if I want to make something just look obnoxiously bright, is to just use an add glow layer, especially in clip, because it does really just burn the fuck out of your colors.
That's the layer style. It's called add glow.
Yeah, it's called add parentheses glow.
Cool.
I don't know how it's that much different than regular add. It adds a bit of a glow. Who would have thought?
Oh, it's sort of the glow is what makes it different.
Yeah. Because if you get like really close to like white, then it basically does just kind of like burn the colors all the way white.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But if you do it and then mess with the opacity and like the base color that you're working with, it's kind of a really cool. It's really fun to mess with in terms of just like lighting and stuff.
Yeah.
No, just add a little bit
sheen.
the world's biggest highlight. Ignore that. Actually, don't do that.
A twinkle in Caleb's eye? No.
Yeah, but
he's
like
dead inside.
Caleb's got shit going on.
The fire magic took too much out of him.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're like working with like anything that's like elemental, especially like that stuff, you can just go absolutely bonkers with. So yeah, just go for it. See how it makes a difference. Because yeah, see, it's already lifting the like light up so much and
so it can stand
adding
on
a different.
Sorry. I'm just here to be annoying. Karina's
at this point, yeah. Boo! Get off the stage.
Needs a balance. Just need a little bit of a...
But yeah, and again, because this center fella, wrong layer, is a bit more of like a how say. This is more of just like a character portrait. Like it's not really in a setting, so it is a little bit harder to just like yeah, just add lighting because I think this one's pretty successful as it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because it works. I would say put it on a darker background or just like a darker or a brighter background, really, because it's pretty close overall. It's sitting in the mid range, but no, I think this one works really well.
Yeah.
And then same with this one where it's kind of sitting in the mid range, so you can just how do Scooby?
How do Scooby?
How do Scooby? What's new, Scooby Doo?
Oh yeah, you could have some light coming in from
Yeah.
the top there, from those torches.
Oh yeah, those are torches, aren't they? I was gonna say brighten up. You know, for dramatic effect, they can be in shadow. I don't actually know what I'm doing with this one. Sorry, gang.
You're just trying stuff.
I'm just trying stuff.
You're allowed to try stuff.
Yeah, just to
Yeah,
kind of
they pop a little bit more.
yeah,
now.
just to make them pop a little bit more, because that tends to be the hardest thing about like putting characters on a background is you're just like you put all this work into the background, but so you know.
Our eyes
But
are stupid, and they need to be told what to focus on. So help
We're
them
dumb.
out.
Help.
And yeah.
But yeah, because it's just me being like, just do whatever. Just fucking do whatever, Karina.
I think it's good. I think that's good advice. Yeah.
Just to separate them more. No, I don't actually like that. And you did point out that there's like lanterns. Oh my, hi.
Hi.
It's like the world's brightest lantern. Maybe there's light coming in from these windows. This is all incredibly like messy. This is a really bad like mock-up of your own drawing, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
I think it's good.
Yeah. Just to separate them more from the background, because I think your stuff just like in its entirety is really like well realized. It's just the simple things of like I've drawn this beautiful background. Now what?
Now what?
Yeah, I gotta put my character help. It's hard.
What do I look at?
This is why I never draw backgrounds.
I mean, I think that lightening up the background made those stained glass windows pop more too, which
yeah, I mean they are really windows. Cool. They can have like light like coming through and stuff. It'll look really nice.
The pattern that you have there is really cool looking. That's just like it's a cool composition.
I'm just like remembering what is where. Cause it was just like a very dark image before. So I think even just like adding the light source of like the torches or light coming in through the windows is like gonna help make, you know, the characters stand out more. Because you've drawn a beautiful background, but you've also drawn beautiful characters. So
you want to be able to see them both.
Yeah, by like adjusting the lighting, by just being brave, you know, to push the values and stuff. You'll be able to have both at a level where they can be appreciated separately and together, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Makes sense to me.
But yeah. Yeah. It's always my like go-to advice of just like, just check the values, but I say this like not in any disparaging way, but it is just something I notice a lot with people who are still learning, where and it's like completely understandable, where if you're just starting to like work more with color and like make full pieces, it can be really scary to like, want to use the full range of like values and stuff. Like fire is orange and it's yellow and it's white sometimes, but I don't want to like push it too hard or else who knows? It
Right.
might like look too crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, especially if you're working digitally and you have the means to, why not make it look a little crazy? If it does look too crazy, you can dial it back. But
And remind people what are you using to view the values, like to switch it to.
so for the sake of simplicity for this especially, I have just made a color layer
Mhm.
that is set to black. There are various discourses on like what is the best way to check your values, but
Mhm.
it's whatever works. Art's fake.
A color layer set to black. All right. Yeah.
Well, because there's like a difference between I think how the computer calculates like the color layer versus like a saturation set to zero or set to like negatives or whatever.
Mm.
But fuck it, whatever works. Do
Yeah.
both. Do whatever. Just
Yeah, just for people watching to understand like
yeah,
the
no, thank you
what
for
you're doing to
bringing that
check.
up. I'm just
Yeah.
like, actually, Nathan, shut the fuck
It's
up.
like no, yeah, there's definitely like more you can get more involved in like how you figure out
Yeah.
your cuz I think right like doesn't like color temperature also like have something to do with there are people who are like that doesn't give you the full picture because it doesn't factor in the temperature of the colors or
Yeah.
whatever. So yeah, like
These are all like separate
there's
theories
there's
and
always more depth you can go into, but like just
yeah.
from like a base level, it's a
Yeah,
I think it's a
for
fine way
learning.
to check just by doing that
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah, I don't care about all that shit because
Yeah.
all of these things are like different concepts that over time you're just going to learn separately and learn to use together.
Hmm.
So, yeah, but no, that's a good point. I'm just doing shit like bleh.
That's okay.
But I do hope that's helpful. But no, I think your stuff is wonderful. And I think you're like this background especially, I felt bad even just like overlaying it for, you know, demo reasons because it's so nice and just the like even the way like just the way it is like uh originally without me fucking over it. It's so beautiful. But it's really difficult to like have characters and backgrounds be harmonious sometimes.
Right.
So I hope that was helpful and that you continue to learn and that I can see more of your work in the future because it's really cool.
Yeah.
We gotta move on.
Let's move on. Keep going.
Yippee! Okay, Nathan, you want to read?
Sure. Content warning, blood splatter. Here are the pieces I'll be submitting to get critiqued and help with. Smiley face. In a previous draw class, I had asked for assistance. The numbers. The numbers.
Now you're doing it.
I had asked for assistances. No, for assistance in making sure
Just held up the number 2.
I had asked two assistants in making. No, I had asked for assistance in making sure my characters were depicted on model in 4 pointers. Oh, and okay, you got me. You got me, Karina.
Do you want me to read
This is
it?
challenge. Yeah, this is no. I got it. And
This is how I type.
in a previous draw class, I had asked for assistance in making sure my characters were depicted on model and for pointers to make sure they were drawn consistently. Super helpful, by the way. But one thing I struggle with is expressions, especially if I use reference from an actor or character, as it oftentimes turns out more like the character/actor from screen rather than my own character. All this is to say, I would love to receive feedback on making sure my characters or fan art of existing characters look on model when it comes to expressions. I would like to note that certain features are either omitted or present because they were drawn at a time before I finalized the base drawing or set in an alternate universe. And of course, if you see something that you feel could use a bit more work, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm always excited to learn and see what I can improve upon.
Yeah,
All right,
good work,
we
Nathan.
got there.
Yeah, you got tricked a couple
I
times,
got tricked a couple times, but we got there.
Also, hi, Soepi. I do remember you from previous classes, and you're improving so much. So
Yeah.
cool.
And thanks for reminding me that I am so EP.
We got pay attention. No excuses. I guess where to begin? Because I love what I did instantly clock as I'm pretty sure our monsters ink Inkas. These are very cute. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I think you have a strong grasp on how to like do expressions, at least for like these two characters. World's ugliest arrow. Because I think these are good. So I'm gonna start with this one where you were saying that you were having trouble kind of like referencing um like an expression uh and then applying it to your own character
Right.
uh without it just turning into that uh actor
Right.
or whatever you're referencing, because that is a little difficult, but also it's kind of just something that I think over time you kind of become more and more comfortable doing, because if you're directly referencing like this screenshot or something, then yeah, you're kind of just like doing a study of it. And if you're like rough, if you're just kind of using something as like a direct reference that turns into a study, then yeah, you're gonna just kind of be like drawing what's already there, and maybe that is difficult to translate into your own style, because this definitely does look very like directly, albeit like a little bit more stylized. And I do think this is like a really like great interpretation of the source material.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does get it can be kind of difficult. So what I would say is um to not reference it so directly in a way, because if this is the character you're going for, it does feel like there is like some difference going on. My initial aside from the design differences, because I'm not sure if that's like an AU thing or something, or you know a change in design or anything, but the facial structure feels so directly similar to her rather than the actual art, like specifically in the nose, because I feel like the character has like a pretty small nose, whereas this one is kind of coming directly from the actress. And this is kind of more of a personal preference, but I and it's not that you shouldn't do this, but when you're drawing like especially in a cartoony style or something, it can be difficult to add in some of these finer facial details without it changing the overall like look of your character, because just to put it frankly, is that if you're adding in these fine face lines and wrinkles, then it kind of changes your character's face, especially in making them look older. Um, and this is a pretty neutral expression, but it's kind of difficult, I feel like that's kind of the main thing that's making, the drawing look less like the character that's there. So, you know, you already have like a good study of the expression, so maybe you can continue to futz around with it and translate it into your own style.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, the your
just like,
characters, like, yeah, your character's
hmm?
eyes are way bigger, also
Yeah,
than like a person, like a photograph person's eyes would
yeah,
be.
because this one, the proportions and just overall kind of like structure are, well, the proportions are basically one to one. So I think this is like a good study of the expression, but it's still kind of difficult to like like you're still having difficulty translating it into your style,
Right.
where, you know, if if you kind of just continue kind of like simplifying it, then maybe you'll find like a better spot to have, uh to translate it into for your own character. That's just practice, I guess.
Yeah, and I think like because something like we've done on other draw classes with Jacob is like looking at reference and just like picking out one specific part to notice. So like if you're looking at sort of like each individual aspect of it, like the shape that the mouth makes, or like the position of the eyebrows, like if it rather than um, trying to copy the entire face, because then you're going to end up with like the same proportions as the reference material. Is like if you just sort of pick one aspect to focus on, um, and then try and redraw just that one aspect onto your character, like in the correct proportion to that character. um, that could be that could possibly be more beneficial to you and help you practice sort of like taking information you're getting from reference, but also translating it to your own character and your own style.
Yeah, cuz going by these drawings, I feel like you have like a good grasp of drawing, the same character with different expressions and it not reading as strangely in any way. Um, so yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with really directly referencing and like learning from, copying or copying uh like a photo or a screenshot or something, but it does take some finagling to kind of like translate it into your own style and therefore your own characters. So, um it's a really nice drawing, but next round, don't look at the original and instead use this as your base and just try again. If you feel like this, if you're not satisfied with this one, next time just don't look at this one. I'm crossing her out like a like a baby. Like, nah. And use this as like your reference because this is a really good drawing. It really captures the same expression, and it's already one step into your style.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be like your next starting point, and you're kind of using this, and then use this with this reference and see if again you get one step closer. So sometimes it's just a lot of doing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I think these are very cute.
Yeah, and like you're clearly you're very good at like drawing expressive faces
Yeah.
and like pushing the expressions into like the cartoony realm. So yeah, I think you do your initial, like just what Karina said, you do your initial study, then lose the original source material and take that study and cartoonify it more,
Yeah.
and keep and just repeat the process until you know it
Yeah.
goes in stages.
Yeah, cuz you're really good. So, if you're ever just feeling unsatisfied with anything, and unfortunately, sometimes the best thing to do is just do it again.
Do it some more.
Yeah, do it some more. But because that's how you learn sometimes, unfortunately.
Sorry.
But yeah, yeah, sorry. Art's hard. It takes work,
It's
but
tedious sometimes.
yeah, but you've been doing the damn thing. So I hope in the future I get to see your stuff again in a critique. I do hope this was of any help at all, though. It's always cool to see your work. You've been improving a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should move on. Yippee! Bloodbender 64. Do you want to read it or should I read
Sure.
it?
Hi. This is my first time participating in DrawClass and looking forward to critique. This is an OC design. Yeah, welcome. This is an OC design that I've been working on and off for the past few months. I would appreciate any feedback related to character design and interested in people's opinions on what they feel his design conveys at the moment. He's meant to have a bit of a goatish motif / vibe to him that keeps closer to the human-y end of that spectrum. If there is time, any advice related to how to improve the anatomy and push the pose to make it more dynamic would be appreciated. Addendum. Also, any advice on giving the torso area volume would be appreciated.
Torso's my passion.
Torso volume is Karina's. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my band name. We
Torso
start every
volume.
show by going, turn up the torso volume.
Let's get torsed. Are you ready
Yeah.
to get torsed?
Yeah.
This is cool though.
Yeah, I like this guy. I definitely see the goatish vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there could always be more goat vibes.
You can always get more goat.
Yeah, goated with the sauce and all that. I look gently to Nathan because this is a little bit. I feel like this is kind of in your wheelhouse too.
Making things look like goats.
Well, I don't know, like fantasy.
Yeah.
You have great character design and you draw good animals.
Thank you. Wow.
Because I'm just like, my initial like impression of a goat is horns.
Right.
So I wish he had horns. I wish your OC had horns. Is that a weird thing to say? I don't know.
No.
I feel like that would help with the vibe if you feel like it's not like in your face enough. I just almost threw my pen at the camera.
And if you don't want to give him horns, you can just sort of style the hair to be indicative of horns. Give him two sort of wispies coming off the back of his head.
Oh yeah, like
Just sort of...
give him like cat ears. No. No, Karina, don't. Yeah, because they got them long face.
Yeah.
And then got that widow's peak. Cute.
Another thing that, like, to me, yeah. If you make the teeth a bit more prominent as well.
Oh.
Give him some visible teeth. That might read more goat. I'm just riffing. You don't have to take any of this advice.
Yeah. If the goat, I don't know why I give him like a huge. I always give my characters huge ears until I refine the sketch, but goats kind of have big ears.
Yeah, they got floppy ears.
Yeah.
You could also,
ears.
you could also indicate that with hair. You could have the hair completely covering the ears and have it look sort of like floppies as well.
Like that?
If you want, I don't know. I'm
Like
again.
that! Sorry, I'm just like fucking up your entire OC. But yeah.
Just messing around with them.
I think this is a fun design. Because I'm not super into kind of like the fantasy, like warrior D&D-ish type of thing and aesthetic. Like that's not really my thing. So correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's not a lot going on with the costuming for the most part. I don't know why I just drew like a banana, just like, ugh. But you know, I there can always. I feel like if you want it to have a strong theming, there's always more to be done. Maybe the goat theming can be worked into the costume. I don't know why I'm so like caught up on this fella having horns, but I'm just like, what if instead it's like part of an armor set or
Mm-hmm.
something?
Mm-hmm.
He has a sword. Why not a whole armor set?
Right.
Yeah. Um, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like I made like a separate layer so we could like do
Oh
any
yeah.
anatomy fucks. And since you asked about torso, that's so my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like Nathan, if you had anything else to add about like the theming.
I guess like the only other thing I can think of is just in terms of like the mythological like language you want to like visual language you want to convey, like a lot of like Greek mythology has goat men in it. And so if you wanted
Mm,
to sort of lean into that, like, because again, if you don't want to give him like a full armor set because he's supposed to be more of like a peasant sort of vibe,
yeah.
like an everyman who just picked up a sword, like you sort of got this like tunic thing. But again, you could look at I don't know, like any sort of popular depictions of like Greek mythology in like cartoons or comics, and incorporate, like, I know like in Disney's Hercules, which I'm sure is not the best touchstone for like
It was the
Greek
one that was
mythology.
rattling around in my walnut brain,
they
like
do they do a lot of
Hercules.
like this sort of like swirl sort of motif in a lot of their stuff. And I don't know, for me that just sort of reads as more, and it also sort of parallels the sort of like spiral look of like a goat's horns.
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
you don't you can look at if you don't want to just give your character horns, or give, or like give him like spiky armor or whatever, like you can look at sort of symbols and themes that are
Yeah.
adjacent to that,
That's a good way of
to
putting
add.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your question, you pose the question, what we feel his design conveys at the moment. And when I say like the costuming and all of that, it's because it does like read as very plain. So the what's being conveyed to me is that he's more of an everyman, like he's not like some sort of legendary warrior, even though he has a sword.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes in my brain to be a warrior, but he's very plainclothes.
Yeah,
So
he's like very unassuming. It's like the
I
idea that
I feel
like,
like if I weren't fed the information that he has a goatish motif, it wouldn't be one of the like first thoughts that occurs to me. Like in the facial structure, I can see it, but it probably wouldn't like it wouldn't be very obvious to me
yeah.
without being told.
Yeah, the hairy arms and legs, it's like it's clearly like there's some sort of animal
Yeah.
vibe that you're trying to get. And then yeah, like the beard. Yeah, I don't it's impossible to know what I would think without having all the information, because I do have the
Yeah.
information. And I'm like, yeah, I can see goat. Like the and yeah, like again, in terms of like the way like satyrs are depicted in a lot of medias, they do have the very hairy forearms, and then of course they have like the full on goat legs. So I don't know if you could convey more hoof into like the boots, even
Yeah.
give him like sort of like have the boots come up higher on the leg, and then like maybe have the front of the boot be like a darker color to, you know indicate, be reminiscent of hoof.
Puts you in the mind of
Put
Hoof.
you in the mind of hoof. I don't know. Yeah, and these are, you don't have to take all these ideas. These are just like first thoughts
Yeah.
I'm having
Yeah.
right
I'm just
now.
I'm because
Just
I'm like
riffing.
I like this character. but you came in with a question, so I'm just trying to communicate that, like, no, I see it, but I don't know if I would have seen it.
Yeah,
And,
you can push
you
it.
know,
You can push it more.
yeah. And so just to work on the anatomy,
Yeah, let's get back
because
to torso. Let's get
yeah,
torsed.
let's do the thing I am like very prepared to do at any moment, which is red line.
Yeah.
This isn't even a red line, but
Oh, that's another
what I
thing for
yeah,
for the
huh?
for just in terms of like, to bridge the gap here is like, again, if you don't want to give him full on goat legs, you can still beef up those haunches a little,
Yeah,
You'd still give
because
him beefier thighs.
yeah, because uh improve the anatomy and push the pose to make it more dynamic. Yeah, because the way he's standing is very like undynamic. Not, just saying.
Yeah,
Because yeah, because it's very like whop, that's your action line. Your action line's just a line. um so I'm just always like, you can always like turn that action line to be more like, that's your shoulder, that's your thing. So then the legs would be more like, I'm doing this very like very poor job of explaining myself.
you're showing it though.
Uh yeah,
Yeah, you could
cuz
space those legs. You could make him, stand in a little more. Yeah, every angle and twist you
yeah,
can push a little bit further.
always remember the leg trick, especially if you're trying to evoke the very concept of like a hoof, cuz I feel like that's, you know,
Yeah.
that I'm like, does that make sense? It's a weird kind of like
Yeah, you could
comparison,
you
but
could
it's
have him
true.
you could have his heels up more. Like he could be standing more on the balls of his feet, like both
Yeah.
both in terms of like being ready for battle as he is like, a swordsman, but also to give you that like sort of that hoofed up vibe as well.
Yeah. Because just like standing there, it can kind of like, it's like, what are you gonna do? He's just standing there, but he's also a soldier, so maybe he's standing there just a bit more battle ready. Yeah, I'm just like, what am I talking about? Just Hanzo has hooves. I spent
Yeah.
years drawing him.
Yeah.
And
He's very hoof coated.
yeah, just give him really tiny ankles.
Give him little
That's how you do
ankles.
it.
Have the legs just go back a little bit further.
Yeah. Just, yeah, because there's just, the line is just straight down. So you can just go back and watch one of my anatomy classes. Hell, maybe we'll do another figure drawing class eventually. And just add more curve to the spine, to the hips, etc. Um, the the foreshadowing on this arm isn't totally correct, but it's a really good try.
Yeah.
I was trying to say that in a way that didn't sound in any way sarcastic, but I think that's just my voice. But no, it's
Oh.
really hard. It's really hard. I
Yeah.
hate foreshadowing. It took a long time to kind of get a feel for it, but that's a separate principle. Um, but yeah, even just that, I feel like the way that I tend to do kind of like figure drawing can turn a little flamboyant, which maybe is not what people are going for sometimes. But even just adding like more of an, because if he's doing more of like a hunch, you know
You can push the hunch. Yeah.
yeah, because this is the most like action I can see going on in this pose, where maybe his shoulders are a bit hunched.
Yeah.
So
You can
maybe
push it in
he's
either
doing more
direction.
like,
Also, I'm still thinking of like goat stuff, like simple
you
things you
got
can do.
goats on the mind.
Like again, like in media, goats are like always depicted like chewing on something. You could give him like a little twig, little twig in the mouth to be chewing on, or just like, you know, that classic like piece of long dry grass sticking out of the mouth, or I don't know. Again, these are just ideas. You do not have to take any of these.
Yeah, but since you
But
asked.
since you asked, I'm just riffing. I'm just riffing
Wait,
on goats. Well,
Nathan, I kind of like the hunch.
yeah.
Oh, Nathan.
Yeah,
I kind
dude.
of like it.
I think we got there. Yeah. You widen the stance, you hunch them over more.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think we're onto
Nathan.
something.
I
Yeah.
think I'm onto something. But yeah, so yeah, the like overall anatomy stuff. This is my very sloppy read on it. Yeah, just because the TLDR, this is your line of action. There's maybe a little bit of curve forward at the top. Just, you know, because it's just like, here's your shoulders, here's your torso. Just get a little sillier
Get
with
a little
it, you know?
sillier with it. Yeah. Have some
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this one's given more goat. Something
Yeah.
about a goat.
Little goat hunch. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Bloodbender. I was so confident. I'm like, we're not gonna go over this time. Easy.
No.
No, I love talking about y'all's work. So we're still. Are you good, Nathan?
Yeah.
to go a little late. Sorry.
For sure. Yeah.
Just making sure. But yeah, I hope that helps, Bloodbender 64. Thank you for submitting.
I'm the one hosting, so if I left, the stream just ends.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm just making sure
good.
you're like schedule good.
Yeah, no, that's whatever.
I'm sorry. I thought I had it this time, but I got like really into doing demos, I guess.
No, it's fine. How are we doing? Are we like halfway, more than halfway, less than halfway?
We're about halfway.
Okay. Let's just
some of these in the latter half I know only submitted one piece too. Okay. Not the comic.
They only submitted pages from One Piece. Wow.
Yeah. So next we have Prairie Fire Punk. I can read.
Go for it.
Hi, I have neurological problems and couldn't move my hand to grip my pencil or stylus for 5 years now. Now that I'm getting some movement back, congrats.
Congrats.
I can't remember how I used to draw. I'm not laughing at you. You're just really sweet. Yeah. I used to put one color into the toolbox, this fella, and I had it fade into another shade with each stroke. My phone background shows how I used to draw digitally like that in comparison to my sketches now. How do I make my strokes do that again? I'm including a picture of what I think the toolbox is. So first of all, your character's very cute. Second of all, this is more of like a strange technical whole thingy that I'm not super sure if I can like explain very well, but I can try.
Yeah.
Because what you're describing with the stroke and the blending and the toolbox, that is more how say it's kind of like a weird technical thing that involves like what kind of brush you're using in any given like drawing program, because the toolbox you are showing is, I believe, Photoshop.
Yeah.
And with Photoshop and Clip Studio, you know, there's a lot of like brushes that people have made and like they're very highly customizable. But then there's other programs like Psy and Corel Paint, and I've never used Fire Alpaca, so I don't know what it's like. But their brushes are less customizable and kind of work more in a specific way. So especially if it's a program that's kind of, you know, trying to emulate traditional painting sort of thing, they will often have like that kind of more blendy type thing. And I'm trying to look if I have any brushes that are kind of doing what you are saying, but yeah, because the strokes blending into each other really just depends on the brush head that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like how it's programmed to work. So let me see if I can fucking find one. That's a blender. Yeah, because like this one has some blend and drag where it'll fade into another shade with each stroke. I don't know. This is kind of getting into like weird digital painting stuff. Um, so uh, I'm not totally sure how to explain
I think that's
such.
yeah. It's just like you gotta find the brush.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
probably
plus
probably some
also
sort of blender brush.
plus also this brush is oh, here's one that does it.
Oh,
I have so many brushes that I just download because they're there because I'm greedy.
yeah.
But yeah, so like this one, like there's different settings and stuff, and I'm not totally sure. I don't usually customize my own brushes. I just kind of like make do.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not totally sure which setting is the one that does this. Maybe it's color jitter. I don't know. Nah, what? Don't look at me. I'm not. Zappy adds. By the way, if you happen to work in Procreate, this is a setting you can change on the brush in the Color Dynamics tab. Um, oh, with a stroke color jitter. Maybe it is color jitter. I don't do this
I don't
in
do
with my
this.
own brushes. Yeah, I'm like, sorry, I'm lazy. But yeah, cuz there's a lot of like different brushes that you can find and download that just behave differently. So this is not the type of brush that I usually use, but it is cool for like this painting style that you do. But also the like current work that you've sent is traditional. So I am a little bit like thrown in terms of just like I wanna tell you more. Um uh so, but yeah, I am glad that you've started drawing again. And in terms of just like uh trying new things if you're working on paper is cuz taking a little look see, I can't super duper tell what kind of ink you're using. Judging by the fact that you have swatch names, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this might be an alcohol based marker, kind of just going by the splotting of it. And if you are kind of interested to continue working like sketching on paper with a similar thing and maybe kind of trying to like find a similar thing as to your like this sort of coloring, you can buy alcohol like uncolored blenders, but also just to like if you are able, to whatever degree you can, see about like uh sorry, I'm like trying to think of words. um to continue like working with like markers that you can blend. um because especially nowadays, like alcohol markers are a lot more accessible to like buy. I just bought like a set of 24 um at Blick for like $25. They were like slightly on sale. So that's pretty cheap. And they're not the best ones, but they're very wet, which means that they are good for blending.
Right.
And if you're interested in like that sort of stroke blending and like, you know, uh having colors that go into each other, you do have to like work a little with like a little bit of speed
Mm-hmm.
with your alcohol markers, because they do have nice blending effects, but it's as the ink is still kind of like wet and like activated.
Mm-hmm.
So but if you are going to move back into doing digital stuff, just futz around with like what kind of brush. I'm sorry, all the cranberry juice. What kind of brushes and stuff you're using. Because, like I said, I don't usually use like this sort of blending effect with my brushes and stuff. But, it's something that you can find in the settings, or you can just download different brushes that have that kind of built into it. But yeah, I'm sorry if I don't have a lot of like other helpful input, but it is very cool to see that after 5 years, you're getting back into drawing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
awesome.
cool.
That's great.
Yeah, congratulations. And I feel free to let me know any other questions in the DrawClass chat because I'm not super sure if you're here live,
Yeah,
but that's what I got.
that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, because I only just started kind of doing markers stuff again. So I'd be happy to expand on it, not in a speed setting
Yeah.
and where I'm sitting at a computer. um, but yeah, so thank you, Prairie Fire Punk. And now we are on to Chimera. You read it.
I read it. Hi, Karina. Thank you for the critique class. I have been trying to get
Hey,
back.
Nathan.
Hi. I'm Chimera right now. I've been trying to get back into drawing/designing characters, but I find myself getting hung up on clothing. I would love
Ooh.
some advice for making clothes look less stiff and flat, or even just more interesting in general. All other critique also welcome.
Ooh.
Smiley face.
Oh, Cat with a Cactus, I'm here. Thank you for the help. You're welcome. Yeah. Sorry if that was just a lot of me saying words. Feel free to follow up in the DrawClass chat. I'll check it over the weekend. It's not the end of the month till Sunday. But yeah. Um First of all, these are very cute.
Oh, I like that
I love this
goblin.
You would, you
I
little
like the
goblin.
goblin. I like the
I
dragon
love
with
the
a big
drag
wrench.
big wrench. These are very
Or
cute.
maybe it's just a little dragon.
Um, who knows? A lizard, perhaps?
Yeah.
But yeah, these are cool. Uh, if your focus is clothing, not to keep cross promoting, but I did do absolutely forever ago a clothing draw class
Yeah.
because the thing
I
with
was there for that one
clothing,
too.
you're usually there. You're very reliable. You know that,
Yeah,
Nathan?
I try to be.
Hold reliable. That's what we call him.
Yeah.
Um,
Old Faithful was taken.
yeah, from someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the thing, what brush am I even on? The thing with clothing is it depends on the material. And right now I'm gonna really, really absolutely eat shit. And then when I stop, I'm gonna just kind of redline where I think the character's body is. Yeah, because this is why we always draw our characters naked and then put the clothing on because it is just material that hangs off of the body, you know? So, um, and I don't think it really looks flat, really, but yeah, I mean, the fun thing about clothes is that you can use it to really like show the volume of your character.
Yeah.
So just you know, because again,
The
it
volume of the
it
torse.
it includes the body. They're just it's just material that's hanging off the body. So we're gonna say that this, if you want it kind of like, this is me remembering how to draw clothes in real time.
You're doing it. You're
So
doing great.
say that this is kind of a material enough that it's flapping like that.
It's a flappy material for
It's
sure.
a flappy material for
One
sure.
of them
Um,
flappies.
yeah, so maybe it's if this side's kind of flapping, maybe this side's flapping a little. You know, it's got the collar is sitting more in a way that indicates where the shoulders are going,
Mm.
and then that's kind of where that cut would be. It does have a bit of we're going to give it a little bit of padding so it's not completely like flush to the skin. And maybe this is also kind of flapping. So, but yeah. The main thing about clothing is that you just have to remember that it's hanging off the body essentially. Um so just use it to show that. And
Use it to
then
show that.
since sorry, I'm like trying to do this very quickly and in a really messy manner. Since the belt is kind of following the, you know, circumference of the torso, it'd probably have a little bit of a, like, more drastic curve to it.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
And yeah. What angle am I going at this from? Let's just say there's a slight bit of an up angle. So then it can also show a bit more of the knee. But yeah, I think you have a pretty good grasp of it. Maybe you're just maybe you feel like you're overthinking it,
Yeah,
but
but I think like the main thing is like knowing sort of what angle you're looking at your character from will help determine like sort of the direction of those little curves in the
yeah,
clothes. Like
yeah,
just push every angle a little bit further so that you have a clearer sense of the direction those curves are going. I think will get you that'll get you some mileage.
yeah,
That
for
alone.
sure.
I say this is something that I also constantly need to remind myself to do in my own work
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like
Same with this fella.
it's very
Um,
tempting to just sort of be kind of non-committal and not just have everything just sort of be like straight on. But as soon as you start like pushing those curves a little bit, it really gives everything a lot more depth and direction.
yeah, like for this fella, because he's kind of at a bit of a strain. Like he's in a much more dynamic pose. Like this guy, he's a little. It's a little straight on, so it's a little um bit more just like you can kind of do whatever. But with this one, um, depending on how you approach this, it can really show like the dimensions of this goblin, the dimensions of the goblin.
Show the
Um,
dimensions of the goblin.
please. Cause yeah. Because this one's a much more dynamic pose.
Dynamic.
So like, because his leg is receding, so I'm like, okay, so the pants would be, you wouldn't see like the like this the inside of the shorts, whereas this one um is coming forward at us, so the shorts would be kind of like the curve, the circle.
The circle,
Nathan,
the curve,
help.
the curve. You got
The
it.
circle.
The circle. The hole at the bottom of the pants. It's
Yeah,
it's a
the
hole.
mouth.
If you were looking directly at it, it would be a circle. but you're not looking
Yeah.
directly at it. It's either coming towards us slightly or going away from us slightly, and you need to
Yeah.
indicate that in such a
Yeah, because
way.
with this, yeah.
The circle, the help.
Help! And then
It's really funny.
same with the cape is that, it's kind of going back this way. So maybe it's, the shoulder is here, so it's kind of forming over the shoulder. So, but it would still be flying back. Yeah. Clothing can be tricky, but you really just do have to like treat it for what it is, which is just like shit hanging off the
Yeah.
body. And it's very privy to the wind. So with Captain Esquire over here, you have a lot more like creative like leeway with just how you want to show that. So like it works fine. The thing is that you can use the holes to kind of just like show volume of the various like body. So if you have like a good underdrawing of like what the body is, you can just like have the clothes just kind of like. But with this goblin, since it's a more dynamic pose, the way that you pose the clothing
Yeah.
can make a huge
Yeah.
difference.
It's just like the better you understand the anatomy and like the more work you put into the underdrawing, the easier it's going to be to add the
Yeah.
clothes after the fact as well, and like have it make sense in space.
But yeah. So I hope that makes sense.
I think it does.
Yeah, I do think this foot can also use a little foreshortening. That's your little extra extra critique is that you're halfway there. This is fun. I do love this goblin. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope that helped. I'll just like say a bunch of shit and then I'm like, hope that helped.
I try to put myself in the mindset of someone trying to learn, and I
Yeah.
think it does. Like
Okay.
it really all comes back. Like a lot of this stuff is just like if your anatomy and posing is good, then like if that improves, then like everything else improves with it. Is sort of the thing.
Yeah.
It's like the clothing makes a lot more sense on the body if like everything on the body is clearly defined, and like the direction that everything's moving is clearly defined, and
Yeah.
like all that stuff. And then again, it's just like with practice as well. Just like a great way to get better at drawing clothes is like practice drawing people wearing clothes that are like doing interesting things, and just
Yeah.
see the way the folds and the way different fabric behaves, with twists and turns
Yeah.
and movement like that.
We have done a clothing draw class,
Yes.
so you can go back and watch that if that would be of any help. But for now, we must move on to Allan.
Hey,
Allan.
hey,
Yeah.
first time putting something into the critique draw class, but decided on my Animal Crossing Gajinkas for Gruff, Wolfgang, Audie, and Dottie. I'm more experienced drawing muscular men and need to work on more feminine figures. I guess I'd ask for ways to fine tune my characters.
Yippee! I think
Yippee!
these are good. I think
Yeah,
you're already good at drawing feminine figures.
yeah.
I can definitely tell that you're more experienced in drawing muscular men, but I don't see anything wrong with the girlies here. They're very cute. Um and as someone who's a total sucker for like any of the wolves in Animal Crossing because I'm pathetic, I like that design. But yeah, um okay, how to fine tune these characters? I don't know. I think they're really cool.
Yeah, they're
I'm
cute.
trying to think of like something very constructive to say right now. If you have anything, Mr. Nathan.
Um, I think just like, you know, uh, proportions is something that you can, and again, like it's tough to tell like what's a stylistic choice versus like um what isn't. But like for example, the second guy from the left, like the legs always can be longer
Yeah.
than again, this is something I do as well. Like I think just, but again, it's Animal Crossing, which like they've got tiny little legs. So it depends just like how, like what you're trying to achieve, because these are all very effective and like very cute, charming designs.
Yeah.
But just just like just looking at it at like taking it at face value, the legs seem a bit short for the torso, and yeah, in terms of like again face proportions, which again
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you can make stylistic choices, but like the eyes seem a little high up on the face,
Mm.
but that could just be how you like drawing faces. So
Yeah.
because it's
I
just like
do.
this feels very stylized to me, and so I don't want to like take that away from it, you know.
Yeah, I do like that you incorporated like the posing as a uh way to further show character. Always a good thing to do, and just whipping out character designs.
Yeah, these poses are awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and they're all just, yeah, these characters all feel super fun.
Yeah. I do know. I did look up who the characters were just so I had like a touch point
Yeah,
of what their animal versions are.
have a
Okay, Nathan, let's do a little exercise.
yeah.
Can you guess?
Can I guess the animals?
Yeah.
Um, okay.
Or the, the vibe, the animals, the
Well,
rock, the
okay. Yeah,
treble.
yeah. The guy on the left, he's given me like dog or wolf sort of
Hmm.
vibe, and you know, he's got this very sort of like tough guy, but maybe with a tough exterior, but maybe soft interior. He looks more dangerous than he is. He's got these very sweet eyes, these very kind eyes, but he also is holding a knife. Um, the guy next to him is also reading as Wolf, maybe even more so as Wolf. Just
Yeah.
the coloration of the hair and like the scruff.
Hmm.
And he looks like he's never had a thought. Like he just,
That is my that is he is a wolf. That is my head canon for all Animal Crossing wolves. They're just idiots.
yeah, he's like he would do anything for his friends, and also wouldn't, just doesn't think about stuff. But he also, but he's got this sort of cowboy aesthetic. He's got the,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like the hat and the pants. He's like
Yeah.
he I
The
bet
bomber
yeah,
jacket.
he's like a perfect gentleman, and a wonderful friend. But don't ask him to, split the bill.
Yeah. Since I told you this was indeed a wolf, not that it was that hard to guess since his name is Wolfgang, do you
Hmm.
want me to inform you of the first one? Because I did have to look this one up because I wasn't sure.
Gruff.
He
Oh, Gruff.
is
Gruff could be a goat, right? Is
Gruff
that,
is a goat.
so we're back to goat, right? And he does have the horns.
Yeah, he's a green goat.
Okay, so there you go. For the goat person, here's another example of how to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the girlies.
The girlies are Audie and Dottie. Okay. I'm trying to.
I just realized that they rhyme.
Is Audie a or the? I'm getting bird. Just the like the based on the hair coloration, it sort of looks like a, just like with her glasses up, it's literally like making like a bird shape on top of her head with like
Oh.
there's like a beak sort of with the front, and then So I'm getting like tropical bird vibes from her, and she seems like she's too cool for me, and maybe like she's fun, but she will make fun of me.
Aww.
And then Dottie, like the little bit of, I don't know, it's like the hair is sort of given like horse, like those are like horsetail, and then like
Huh?
the the leggings are giving like sort of sheep, like that sort of, I don't know, like the bows and the like that
Interesting.
wool. But I mean, I feel like I sound like an idiot because I don't know the.
No, it's it's an interesting thing to do.
She could be a cat
I
also.
Audie is a wolf and Dottie is a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. And I mean, these are all kind of arbitrary things because like it's Animal Crossing. Each one is more based on their like personality type than the animal they are, but
A wolf in sheep's clothing, perhaps. We've got the wolf tails and then the sort of sheepy.
oh no, that one's the rabbit.
Oh, she's the rabbit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Um,
Then
like I kind of like
fully wrong.
could tell Audie and like Wolfgang because I'm really familiar with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was doing this less to like fill time and like make a fool out of
You
you,
did make
and
a
more
fool
t-
out of me. That
well,
I'm now
that's
too
not
hot.
hard to
I
do.
need to take off my hoodie. I'm sweating.
No, I was kind of trying to show like because this is all very arbitrary because they're Animal Crossing Gajinkas,
Yeah.
but the vibe that the designs were getting or giving off in terms of like the costuming, because like, these aren't like their one-to-one clothes from the game.
Okay.
So just yeah, I was just kind of curious what your thoughts were. All these outfits that exist in Animal Crossing. Yeah. But
Oh yeah. Okay. No, I see.
yeah.
Yeah. Audie. Audie. That's a good Audie. That's
Yeah.
just what she does. She does
Yeah,
look
that's
like
just what her
that.
hair looks
That's
like.
just what her hair
Yeah.
looks like. Yeah. So, sorry. I mean, it does look like a bird to me, the hair, but that's just how they designed her. So that's not your fault. And then
Yeah.
Dottie.
But yeah. And again, in terms of like you said you need to work more on feminine figures. I think these are lovely. I think you've done a wonderful job with these poses and like the anatomy and stuff. Like, like Nathan said, like maybe there's some things you can improve on overall, but that's just kind of like basic, practice
Yeah. These are
rather
good.
than, you know, any sort of lacking thing. These are wonderful. I just realized like this is a nice hand pose.
Yeah, it is.
Just like by the by.
Yeah, the hand pose is good. I really like the Dottie is the bunny. I really like the
Mhm.
pose you have for her. Like
Yeah, it's very
that
bubbly
one's
and cute.
the most dynamic, and it's just really like everything,
Yeah.
especially like there's a lot going on with the shoes, and you got them at two different angles, and it's like
Yeah, they're
really
very cute. I really
really
like those
nice.
shoes you
Yeah.
chose. But yeah, I can definitely tell there's a bit more love like in the anatomy work of these two. Can relate, but no, I think these two are like also very successful.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling like super pleased or like happy with where your anatomy is, especially with drawing women, just like do more figure drawing. It's really good. You're good.
You're good.
So yeah. It's been half that time just making Nathan say things.
Yeah, and I really made a fool of
Sorry.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did great.
Okay. Ooh.
Next. So this is from Baskerville Hound. Hey Karina, hopefully it's not too late to post a submission for the critique. I'm posting my art from my sister, Baker Street. Cool naming convention. That's really cute.
Yeah, I love the
Um,
Sherlock
this is an
stuff.
OC of hers that she's been drawing a lot. She's been working on anatomy and lighting lately, and she says any advice would help her a ton. The one on the right is the newest one. Um, and it's a nice midday, so I can't see shit. My bad. It's the part of the day where the sun is like really starting to just hit my tablet screen, so it's hard to see some of the contrast. So I might be so annoying and like do that. Does that look bad?
Not to me. I mean, it just looks
That
like it's
helps. Yeah, that
it's
that
just a
helps like show
little.
the contrast on my washed out screen right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, um these are really nice. Your sister is very good, and her OC is very hot. Um
yeah.
uh, Working on anatomy and lighting. Um I guess to piggyback on my own personal stupid ass problems is that I love the dramatic lighting in these, but they are very dark. So I would love to see more of this character in a brighter room. You're so hot. Can you please stand under some warm lighting? But no, these are really great.
Yeah.
I
What I really like about the one on the left is like again something that I struggle with in my own art is that like you like the confidence to just like leave parts completely hidden. Like you're showing
Yeah,
exactly enough to indicate like she's I don't you know she it looks like she's been captured. She's been tied to this chair maybe.
yeah,
And yeah, like you get all the information, and you're just seeing like her face and her shoulders and like the tops of her legs, and that's all you need. Like you don't need to show more than that, and it
yeah.
tells the whole.
I think the foreshortening is really well done
Yeah,
because it is like hard to commit sometimes to like doing a foreshortened pose because it does feel weird to not like have the lower leg showing or like the just the shoulders, but this is like really well done, so I think it's really really cool.
and just like the
um
slight change in angles from like the legs are going like slightly this way, the torso's going slightly that way, and then like the head is like it's like there's a really nice sort of movement to it even with just like those
yeah,
few shapes.
but yeah, and the one on the right, this is really pretty.
Yeah.
I would just say, um I'm like I sound like such an old biddy saying this, but I'm just like, oh, I wish I could just see her better. It's because it's fucking 5:30 p.m. and the
Let
sun
the
is
old
right
people
there.
see your hot characters. Old people like hot
Yeah.
characters too.
But yeah. No, I can't even be like too judgy about like just doing the dramatic rim lighting because it looks fucking badass.
It looks cool.
But no, I feel like there's a really strong even a grasp of anatomy, and even just like these really subtle like highlights to kind of show like the really subtle way of like the musculature, because that
Yeah.
can be a really difficult thing to do sometimes if you're kind of mostly doing like this like anime-esque cell shading, is to show the like really subtle ways in which someone's uh musculature is, because if you define it with lines, it might you risk over accentuating it, etc. So this is all really well done. She was eating something. Me too, girl. um but yeah, I'm trying to think of like more constructive things to say, but it's just really good. I Working on anatomy and lighting. I think like I'm just like, in terms of, no, I put it on the wrong layer. In terms of just like but again, I also have these at 80% opacity to counteract the sun shining directly into my fucking screen. But in terms of like cinematic, kind of a more narrative approach to lighting, I think these are like really, really good. I would challenge, I would challenge Baker Street to do because like if you're working on anatomy, push keep pushing the poses to do like more dynamic stuff because
Yeah.
as wonderfully as these are like both constructed, they are like a little passive, so maybe a more like action pose. She seems like a very action character,
Yeah.
so that's my challenge to you. And then yeah, what about you, Nathan? Help.
I agree. I think I'd like to see this character in action.
Yeah, I want to
It looks
see
like
her
she both of these look like right before
kill someone.
she's about to do some action. Like she's about to break out of that chair. She's about to like jump off of a building and like land on someone, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah, I'd like to. And yeah, I challenge you to do more action poses and to put her
yeah.
in more well lit rooms.
I would also
But like
challenge,
these are both very
yeah,
effective and very good. Like if that's not
yeah.
something you want to
That's
do, that's also fine.
we're waffling a little because these are very strong pieces,
Yeah,
so we're just trying to find more like useful things to say.
yeah,
Because I would also challenge to even like push the facial expression a little bit. These are very badass pieces, so I'm
yeah,
just like, I want to know more. I
yeah.
want to know more about her. I want to know what her deal is. I want to know why she is in these in these scenarios.
Why she only
So,
comes out at night?
yeah, so I'm just like, um, yeah, just I am interested to know more and to like know more about her as a character. Like, because like in this is such like a fantastic image. Like she's clearly like trapped somewhere, you know, like tied to a chair. She's like underground somewhere and she's looking up and there's lights coming through a vent. And I want to know about like what comes next. Like how is she feeling about this, etc.
Yeah,
Because it's this is a really cool like facial expression, literally, in that it like looks cool and it looks like she's just kind of like, you know, like she's model facing. So I want to know more about how she's feeling,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Also, I
Like,
really liked just like the stone patterning you have on the ground and the way
yeah,
you did the lighting on that also is really cool.
yeah, these are genuinely like such strong pieces that I'm just like, go on then.
Yeah.
More, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are so cool. I I would love to see more. We can do again. Any further questions we can follow up in the DrawClass chat.
Yeah.
I'm there. I see everything.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'll
these
show
are
up
so cool.
for this character for sure.
I love her. I don't even know her name. But yeah, thank you for sharing your sister's work. So cool. So nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on now
Okay.
to Sango Spirit. They submitted one piece. I just put it twice because there was room, and they didn't. Sprint. I'm stupid. Sango Sprint. I would love this piece critiqued in the upcoming draw class. It'll be my first stream watching live. Oh, are you here?
Are you here?
Hi.
Hello. It's
But
Saitama
yeah,
and I don't know if
um,
that's a character from One Punch Man I just don't recognize or an OC. But they
yeah,
are we caught them. We caught
we
them in the
caught them
closet.
in the closet. Whose closet is this? It's empty. Oh, is this you in the chat? Don't be intimidated. This is a really fun piece. There's a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of character to it.
Yeah.
Sorry to immediately roast whoever's closet this is. I can't stop myself. I'm just like, my closet is so full.
Yeah.
I don't have room to do this sort of shit in there.
It's probably Saitama's closet because
He has one fit.
yeah, he has one fit. I'm just glad to see him happy, you know?
Oh, it's Sonic Ninja, but as a monster.
Oh, nice.
I get it now. I can see that. But yeah, um, if there's anything particular you'd like to have critiqued, just say the word. Otherwise, let's get into it. Because I really like the composition where it's like, is this POV me? I open the closet
Yeah.
and they're in there being nasty. And I'm just like, what are you doing in my empty closet? I was going to put things in here. But I do just like the long composition because
Yeah.
it creates like a nice sense of like space as well as I don't know if there's a better word for this that I just can't think of in the moment, but foreboding.
Yeah.
It's very
They've noticed you, but they are not gonna stop.
what's the word? Pulp novel cover?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Um
Yeah, the bright yellow, all yeah, just like
yeah.
it's the way that you have the like framing within the composition of like the light coming in through the closet door is really effective.
Yeah, like I think that's really well done. I guess the easiest thing for me to critique is um the I'm like, is there too much to say about the anatomy? You kind of got it. It's basically there. Um More than anything, I think the going back to clothing and stuff, the way the fabric is falling makes it a little difficult for me to read personally um because because I'm fucking dumb, I guess, but like
Yeah.
uh
I
I
didn't mean to, I didn't mean
I
to agree so emphatically with you being dumb. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, Karina. You gotta know. I don't think you're dumb.
no, he's finally fighting back.
No.
He's just like, now's my chance. Because I'm just like, I don't think it's the anatomy that's throwing me with any of this, but more so the construction of the fabric because it's a little confusing to me.
Mhm.
Because like we said, the way that fabric kind of bunches and falls depends a lot on like um the material and stuff. And I wouldn't expect like Saitama's suit to be more like of a chunky material. um It was my first attempt at cell shading. It's not you, despite Nathan's comment. I think this is like the shading looks nice.
Yeah.
But I think maybe in the way that you shaded it because this kind of strikes me as like the same sort of chunkiness as like a comforter maybe.
Mhm.
Or like a duvet. And the way that this part because his suit is kind of like kind of like that. And it's very simple.
Yeah.
um so I also don't to like have it go up here. I feel like this is too much fabric and it's hanging too loosely for what the suit is. So like if I were to do it, I would probably have it a little bit more taut because I would expect this to be kind of like a spandex or something,
Mhm.
like more flesh to the skin.
Yeah.
Um, so for it to kind of bunch up like this so much, it makes it look really loose. So it was kind of confusing to read at first because I wasn't super sure like where the fabric was like bunching and stuff. Um, I'm just like, I don't want to cover up his little pink nipple, but yeah. I just think like
Just a little
overall,
bit. Just a hint of
Yeah.
knit. Yeah.
It just, the fabric just needs to be kind of posed differently to better reflect the overall feel of it. Because I guess his stuff, like his suit isn't like it's got like some give to it, but um not this much give as was originally there. And then same with the cape. I think it can be a little like uh how would I do this?
Because like his arm's going out all the way to the side, and so the cape's like sort of following that. But then,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I guess like
But
where exactly is the arm going is I guess the question.
yeah.
It's
Because
open.
I think because I'm like I don't think there's actually really any that much to say about your anatomy. I think I was just thrown off by the overall like um way the cape is falling because it does look very like thick in the way that you've done it thus far, whereas
Like is the arm going down? Is he like propping himself up with it? Like is it touching the floor
I
at some
think though
point,
I
or is
agree
he?
with the way that you initially read it, where it's like kind of
It's just like
because
he's just being pushed up against the wall, and the arm's just sort of out to the side. Like
yeah, like
yeah,
maybe holding up, um,
yeah. That makes sense.
like yeah, because it just
This is such a funny image.
yeah, it's very
Like
good.
the
I
comedy of it
just
is very good. Like that's
yeah, I just
some
think with
good
the cape, I
good
could
visual
not tell you
storytelling.
the last time that I've watched or like read One Punch Man, but just it reads as like a duvet to me because it's like because that's the way that the shading kind of
Yeah,
implies that
you
there's
made it.
these really fine, tight folds. And then the rest of this kind of reads as very plush as a result of that. So I think the
That's his hookup cape that he puts on.
yeah, for when you got to sleep over.
Yeah,
I always bring my own duvet and it's my cape.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, because like I think this is a very like solid drawing. I just think I'm just like I just think like that was like the thing that was like really sticking out to me. Because again, I'm just like, oh, I don't even think like I have that much to like comment on about like the anatomy. I think it was specifically like the like the plushness of like this cape and then like these folds were like throwing me off a lot more than anything else. I do like this monster fucker design.
yeah.
Ew.
Is that something that happens in the comic? Because I know there's like
I don't know. I haven't gotten that
there are
far.
monsters that are like turning people into monsters. Does Sonic get turned into a
Oh.
monster? Is this a
Oh my
spoiler
god.
or is this fanfic? I don't know.
Does he get like absolutely blasted in the taint again? That'd be crazy.
That
But
part's so
yeah.
funny.
I like forget about Sonic, the One Punch Man character, except that my dad got me a hoodie, like a bootleg One Punch Man hoodie with Sonic on it. Like and he's just like, "Do you like this character?" And I'm like, "He's the one that gets absolutely punched in the taint." But yeah, so this is very fun. I like this. Keep at it.
Yeah,
I hope what I said made any sense and is in any way helpful. But yeah, yeah, work on the clothing fall. I think it'll make all the difference and like really tie everything together. And I'm gonna move on now.
great.
Because we got two more.
Okay,
You can read this one.
I'll read this one.
I take a little sippy.
All right, this one's from Kevbot, a red panda party. Have a few Zelda-based character designs and redesigns I tried to do in a mostly lineless style to be similar to the game models. Not really finished pieces, but designs for a D&D game. They are some of the earliest things I did in Photoshop, and I may try to update or redo a couple now that I have some more experience. Definitely need to fix some rough edges and issues from not really knowing how to use certain tools. Would appreciate any advice and ideas. Also, I included a digital painting of my dog, Murph. New to painting
Mwah.
and would love critique on that too. Oh, congrats on 10 years of Drawfee, and thanks for always inspiring me to want to grow as an artist. Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for submitting. These are very fun designs. I love the blue jay fella.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah.
You
I
really nailed
am
the
less
style.
familiar. Yeah, I did cut out the stat sheet parts of it just to save room for
Mhm.
everything to fit in one go. Um but yeah, I am less familiar with like the Zelda style, but just at a glance, I'm like, no, this looks great.
Yeah.
I'm just really enamored with like the Blue Jay one because I love a good Blue Jay design. It's like weirdly near to my heart. um, but yeah, I I you got anything?
I'm looking up uh Zora anatomy. Yeah, they do. They like the birds. They
Oh,
just yeah,
these
they
fellas?
they do
Yeah,
have
they
they do have long torsos, so
yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah.
yeah,
I
that's a
know that from seeing a lot of fan art of Sidon.
yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a side-on specific thing or they all. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so no notes there. Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
I think yeah, I'd love to see these like in front of a background because it's like some of the I know this isn't finished and so it's like in front of this sort of gray that some sort of muddles in with some of the gray you have for the shading as well, but like it looks like a 3D rendering, even though
Yeah,
it's
you
a
really nailed the style.
yeah, like that's really cool. um this dog's so sweet.
Yeah, whoever's character this is, I love, I love that he has a dog. I love that he's a blue jay. It doesn't get better than this. But yeah, I don't know a ton about like Zelda like mythos and stuff, and other than kind of just seeing it like very secondhand. So I don't have a ton to like add about these other than like, no, I think you really nailed the style and like the lineless style and everything. Like it looks so good. And like the designs are so clear and the forms are so clear.
Yeah, I guess you could do like with that bird on the right there, just the the left or her right leg is sort of bleeding into the tail a bit, like the top, since it's the
Oh,
same color, you could darken the tail a bit just to give that part a bit more depth and have it stand out from the leg, but you also
yeah.
don't have to if if that was intentional. It's just yeah, it's cuz like the shading in Zelda is all very subtle and it's like you could push it more in certain places just to give everything like a bit more depth, but it's already
Yeah.
like you're in such a good place already. And I
Yeah,
I
like this
love
all
the
looks deeply on model to me. I'm just like, could fool me.
that harp design is really cool.
Yeah.
Um yeah, let me I'm trying to think. Yeah, again like the and again, it's just like the choice of background, like that dog on the right is like very cute, but it is just like sort of melting into
Yeah.
the background, but that's just something you could change by putting a different color background behind it. Like
Yeah, that's irrelevant to the design
that's not
itself,
that's not
but
really
it would be nice to have a clearer view. I guess the only thing I could really like strongly or not strongly, but like definitively critique is the Murph.
yeah.
Murph.
Let's
This
look
is
at
such a cute
let's look at Murph.
painting. Yeah, but it kind of funny enough like lacks the depth and specificity of form as the Zelda style things, I think. It reads as a little flat to me is all. But you said you're very new to painting, so I can tell a lot of the work went into the texturing more so than anything else. And I think the texturing is really
Yeah, I
nice.
think you could just add some more shading to that one.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know what the source material you're working from is. If it was just very sort of
Yeah.
not dramatic lighting at all, but you could add some more. You know, give it a specific light source and just sort of see put some
Yeah.
put some
'Cause
some
I
shading
also
around
feel
it.
like the eyes are a little bit lost, because they're uh quite dark on a dark background. But sometimes that's what a dog looks like.
Yeah, but you could add like a little bit of that like sort of reflected light at the bottom, you know, just like
Yeah.
a slightly lighter, yellower of that brown, just like right at the bottom a bit. I think that could make them pop. Like, oh, you're still on the one
Oh,
that's blending. The
no, I'm on a weird one. That's
okay,
why.
yeah, something like that even.
Yeah.
Just like you know, but this is really cool. I
Yeah.
haven't.
I love the detail of the hair texture. I recently did like a painting of one of my friend's dogs who has very like kind of wiry terrier hair, and
Terrier Harrier.
it's it's hard. They're so wiry.
Yeah,
The eyes were hard. I had to lighten up the eye color to make them show up better. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on how like photo accurate you're going, but because clearly you're good at stylizing. It's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't mean this in like in any sort of mean way, but just in a general tone indicator general. It's funny to see it side by side with the like very stylized things.
yeah.
In terms of just seeing like how much you are working on different things. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember someone came up to us at Mocha Fest and gave us like a bunch of art, and it was all like traditional media, and it was all completely different styles, and it was all really good. And I
Yeah.
was like, how do you be that good at
Yeah.
like so many different things? It's wild.
So crazy. But yeah, I think it's really cool that you're also working on a more like realistic painting style. And again, especially this like fur texture, I can see every brush stroke, and I find that I'm just like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
um, but yeah. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's so good.
The oh, for the Zora again, like just for that Zora character, you have this like very bright beetle on you know,
Yeah.
you could do some, you know, add fake some shading behind the beetle or just like darken the color of the beetle itself just because that's getting a little lost.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, it's a nice beetle, and I like that she looks happy to be petting that beetle.
Yeah. The
Um,
jewelry design is lovely.
yeah, there's just so much going on, and it really
Yeah, these
reads
are.
at the you know just like,
Is that a weed?
oh, is he doing a little puff? Is he doing a little puff on something
Yeah,
there?
these are just such like fun, well realized designs that I'm just like taking it all in, and it's delightful. But these are really cool.
Could brighten up that fire a little bit, you know, as we've been talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very
Add a little bit
oh yeah.
of a glow from the fire if you want. You know, these are small, like the you've achieved the effect you were going for, like, and so everything else is
Yeah.
just like nitpicky because we're here to critique and you asked for critique, but like,
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you came all the way here and like shared your work, and I feel like I need to say some stuff or else I'll feel
yeah,
bad. But so much of the time, everyone submits such wonderful work that I'm like, ah, geez. Now I'm just like saying shit that I wouldn't
right,
normally like, pick out as like a thing, but
yeah.
you asked.
Yeah, like the main thing I always hope for from these streams is that like people come away feeling encouraged because like
Yeah, for sure.
it's number one, it's a brave thing to do to share your art at all. So like thank you for doing that. And like that you're seeking to improve is awesome, and you're starting from like everything that we've looked at is just like you clearly put so much of yourself and so much time and energy into making it, and it's that's always really cool to see. And so
Yeah.
I hope everyone who submitted continues, and I hope people watching
Yeah,
feel
I so many
inspired.
times when we do these critiques, it's like repeats. Like people are like, "Oh, I've done this since last time," and it always makes me happy to see. And what makes me even happier is that we have one more. Um,
Ooh, strong.
it's Julia.
It's Julia from Final
So it's
Fantasy.
error BT 30 EVT 34. Very late last moment edition. I fell asleep. Enzo faced. If I've made it, thank you in advance, Karina. If not, I'll make it next time. You made it.
You made it.
Hi, you're
Hello.
last. This is very cute. Again, I am forgetful, and my brain is practically soup half the time. So I cannot be sure if you have also been to one of these before. I say that because I'm like, I feel like maybe, but if not, I'm not gonna, don't correct me. Anyway, this is cute. Um, it is always difficult to kind of approach things if you don't have specific things that you want critiqued.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, you're in chat. Is there anything in specific you want to talk about? Or else I'm just gonna start saying shit. Um, but yeah, I think I regret to inform you that the first thing that caught my eye is that I felt like the fabric is shaded kind of strangely. I'm on a weird color. Um, at points because again, it's another fabric thing of just like
Yeah.
you do have something to ask, please let me know, of just like depending on the thickness of the fabric, like this kind of strikes me as more of like a knit because of the turtleneck, or like a thicker fabric because of the boob window, which by the way, very good. Something about the shading on the boobies is like really really good,
Yeah.
but I feel like some of the shading on the fabric itself is like a little confusing to me. Oh hey, speak of. So I generally struggle of where and when to use hard shadows and soft shadows. I had to speed run this. Oh my, speed run it. Yeah, so I guess to work on that is it doesn't always like I struggle with this plenty too, even to this day, where depending on what fabric you're trying to convey, it's not going to have hard shadows at all or not. Like if it's something like a knit sweater or like a thicker knit something or other, it's probably not going to have like many hard shadows at all,
Mm-hmm.
because I do like hate to say it, and also because it like shows what an absolute fucking pervert I am. But like my eye is kind of drawn here because I'm a little confused about what this shadow is. Because like if you know,
Yeah, it does look like they have like a secret extra
yeah,
pack,
and I'm yeah, because it kind of reads as like the
which
nipple is like either really big and like really swollen, or there's just
oh
like another like fold here. So it's stuff like that where it's just like maybe this shadow, where's a softer brush, could have been like softer in whatever way to kind of like not give that impression, because when there is like a hard shadow like that, then yeah, something is folding. Because I think the intention here is because there is this boob window, the intention is that it's like creating the seam, like that's a seam and this is the seam.
oh
But
sure,
the way that it's shaded is a little confusing because it's
yeah.
giving the impression that the entire thing is uh like full, like it, for lack of a better way, it's not giving the impression of a seam, which is kind of like this.
Are you saying it doesn't seem like a seam?
It looks like a butt. It looks like an indent rather than like an out, like a seam that's on. Nathan, shut up. I'm trying to be serious
I
here.
Sorry, I'm trying to be stupid.
Yeah.
We're at odds. We're speaking at cross purposes.
Yeah, and they you're doing great. Thank you for sticking with me extra time.
We're having a great time.
Yeah, and they say it makes more sense with the line art. Yeah, I get that. I know that feeling. So that's felt. But yeah, because yeah, like that was the main thing that caught my eye in terms of just like I don't think it's supposed to be like that. Not you, or because if you're following the shape of the whole peck, like there's definitely, for lack of a better way of putting things, like a bit of a shelf kind of point. Like so the nipples down there, and they are very boobalicious. So, but that kind of shift benefits from a softer shadow, and even these like indents where the abs are can be softened because like it's very sexy when those show through the clothes, but depending again on the thickness of the fabric, like they kind of wouldn't so much, like, and if they do, it'd be a lot more subtle. It's kind of difficult to judge.
Yeah, and like
turn your brain off when you want to just draw Tata.
Just sort of like based on the size of the pecs and the angle that he's sitting at, like that, even with the ridges, like they'd still be more in shadow just because like the light wouldn't be hitting them as hard because they're being overshadowed.
Yeah,
by the tatas.
Like maybe the lower ones, but yeah. It's if, and I'm making a lot of like the overhang.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of like assumptions for you just for the sake of getting through like a demo faster.
Yeah.
But assuming that this is kind of like more of a knit sweater sort of thing or something, it would not have a lot of like tight shadows over most of the bunches where muscle is. Like this is kind of more fitting shading for this sort of thing, if anything, where it's not having so many like hard creases and stuff. I don't know. I'm not saying you did it wrong. I'm just saying like I don't know. It's a finer line, I guess.
Yeah, and it's
honestly,
also,
if anything, this one should also like have a little bit more of like the creases at points, because it reads more as like a t-shirt, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And then again, it's like it's got this sort of like frayed edge, like where the sleeve ends, but like it like is that like the rest of it is so tight fitting that it feels like it should still be tight on the arm where like the shirt ends, rather than like flaring out like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like
I think that's my main like criticism.
But this is very cute.
This is incredibly cute. I feel like with these kind of really deep shadows on the legs, like those can be lightened up like a tiny bit or like broken up a little bit, because it's also blending into the floor. My like cheat for this sort of things is that because here's a secret: we're artists, we can just lie. So I put like I'll just add like the lighter color back in to kind of break up the shadows so that the dark shadow of the pants isn't touching the dark of the floor.
It was 5 a.m. and I was panicking. That's fair. That's a fair reason why anything.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry to like. I'm not trying to like pick this apart. I'm kind of just saying things because you submitted it for a critique. Yeah. This is such a cute thing. My like, the face is really sweet. I love the like immaculate shading of the boob window.
It's really There's so
you didn't even put a highlight on the face.
This is incredibly. It's incredibly charming. This entire face. Like the, yeah.
Only on the titties. But no. I guess the only other thing I could say is that the couch seems kind of big, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know how to draw a fucking couch. They're really hard.
They
I
just got a
hate
big
this.
couch. You can have a big
Yeah.
couch.
I wish I had a big couch, but I don't.
Yeah,
But if I did, I would put my subby little bunny boy on the floor in front of me while I just sat there.
yeah. You could even add like a slightly darker shadow directly behind, sort of where they're sitting, to like differentiate from like the general shadow that they have. Just like make it a little darker right behind both of the bodies.
Just forgetting how to find a darker color.
Or you know, and if you do that and it looks bad, then forget I said anything. But
Yeah.
it's just a thought.
I mean, especially if you were doing this quickly, like it's wonderful. Just
Yeah.
BT dubs if that wasn't clear.
Yeah, there's just like little
It's such
little
a cute
tweaks.
scene. I do not know these characters, so I have no context for how cute this is. I'm like, I just know that's Julia.
Yeah, is that character up top the Final Fantasy character that Julia gets told?
Isn't it?
Yeah, is it just him, but he's just being he's just
Domestic?
Yeah, it's just him after
They domesticated him?
he gets defeated in Final Fantasy 14.
But
Is that
yeah.
the online one? That's the one he's from?
I assume because that's the one with bunny folk, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they're bunny folking.
Oh my god, never mind.
I'm sorry. Final Fantasy 14.
But
Yeah, that's the online one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my additions.
One is their heavily modded character, and the other is okay. So it's their character from the game with the boss from a boss from the game.
Yeah.
And they're just being buds, just guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes on the couch. But yeah, so does that make any sense? Is any of that helpful?
Yeah. Obviously,
I've never owned a titty window sweater, because I got nothing to put in there, but like I don't know where the seams on that lay out. So no, that's why at first I was just like, what is that? But I assume it was one of the seams, so that's why that's how I fixed it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, you could spend, I guess, the answer is you can spend more time on stuff if you're not rushing to get it in for the critique is that you could have spent more time on it if you hadn't been rushing to get it in for a critique, which is cyclical.
I guess to just like get back to the clothing fold stuff.
Yeah.
As like to go back to the talking about like the facial face stuff that I'm like, again, this is a little bit like more of my purview than maybe everyone's, but when in doubt, you don't over accentuate, just keep it on the vaguer side if you're not super sure, because like with that fold in particular, like that was just an over accentuated fold, so it became kind of like strange looking. And so because all I kind of did was soften it out. I didn't even like fully get rid of it. I just kind of softened it. But yeah, so it goes for faces, goes with clothes. Just if you're feeling like it's overworked, or if you're like not feeling it anymore, just kind of unwork it a little bit. Just make it simpler.
For sure.
If you're not sure. And then come to critique. After staying up.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, you need to roll it like you need to keep it going, actually. You should have done more. And that's it.
Wow. Thanks everyone who submitted. Thanks everyone for supporting us on Patreon.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Nathan, for keeping it going.
For being silly while you gave good
silly.
art advice.
I hope it was good. And you did too. And now I get to go back to staring at this singular image.
Yeah.
And crying.
Yeah. Sorry for making you not look at that image for 3 hours. You can go back to it.
It's okay. I set it as my new desktop wallpaper on the recording computer, so we'll all get to see it a lot now.
Yay.
Turn my notifications on Discord back on.
Well, yeah, and yeah, thanks to everyone for supporting. Thanks for watching along live, and if you are watching the VOD later, you know that we're always gonna keep pitching that you support us on Patreon, and like Karina said at the start of the stream, we announce what the draw class is for that month ahead of time. So if you see one that you're particularly interested in doing, you can always just sign up for
Yeah.
the month and then
Yeah, we
stop.
rotate through
We
who's
know.
leading, etc. It's fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, just feel free to post in the DrawClass chat if
Yeah.
you have any follow-up questions.
Oh yeah, or if
I'll
if
be
you
there.
make any
I
of the
look.
changes we suggest and wanna
Yeah.
post your art after post critique
Yes.
and especially that one OC if we got any more of that one. Love to see her in some other situations.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry. David's just messaging me. Sorry, I'm keeping you from looking at the Ace Attorney image and crying. Shut up. This is your fault, David. But yeah.
Have a
I
good one,
think,
everybody.
yeah. Have a good one. Happy drawing.
Happy drawing. Keep making art. We're
Hope it
sorry.
helped. Always fun to see. Sorry.